I was muted. As soon as I turned on the camera, my fang fell out. And maybe, just maybe, the spooky tooth fairy will come tonight. Micah,
sure.
Yeah. My one fang looks really cute, though. What are you, Micah? What are you dressed as? Because I'm obviously a sexy vampire a la Lost Boys. Duh.
I'm the very, I'm the scariest thing in the world.
What's that?
I am the, specifically, I'm the Red Scare.
No! 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 Okay. The fangs are done. The fangs are over. You literally scared me so hard my fangs fell out again. Wow, you have you have volumes 1, 2, and 3 of the Communist Manifesto. I think that's a really good costume, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's not the Communist Manifesto.
Wait, what was it? Das Kapital?
It's Capital by Karl Marx. And
that was the one.
You'll notice, in the interest of full disclosure,
yeah,
that spine is brand new. It has not been crashed.
All right. Yeah, that tracks. Ooh, I need to turn my mic down on the stream because I am blowing y'all out. My apologies, babies. So we are recording the proper podcast at the same time as this, just so our sweet dear Twitch listeners know. I'm going to adjust my lighting so I'm not blowing y'all out too. Micah, your eye makeup looks so cool.
Thank you, Stevie. I completely heard exactly what you just said.
Well, I was complimenting your eye makeup. I said it looks cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I spent a bit of time on it.
Well, I think it's really cool. I thought you were going, I assumed you were going for a Freddy Krueger kind of vibe, and then I was extremely, extremely relieved when you decided to not have a Freddy Krueger mask, but instead a Red Scare mask, because Freddy is kind of one of those that, like, okay, I haven't seen the movie. I haven't seen a lot of those classic horror films. You have, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay, like, duh. But there was one trailer for... I don't know what the fucking... Nightmare on Elm Street. That's what it's called. The one with Freddy is Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes.
Okay, I saw the trailer for it in middle school, and it scared the bejesus out of me so bad. Kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's did me, where I literally couldn't even look at the main character without freaking my bean. He freaked the shit out of me.
You weren't looking at the trailer for the original one. You were looking at the trailer for the remake that they did. So you're not even a... like the Robert Englund ones, like those just...
I don't think I realized
no
there was
idea.
a remake.
Yeah.
Oh.
They got the guy that played Rorschach to be Frederick Krueger.
Rorschach? Who are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Like
the Watchmen movie. Have you seen the Watchmen movie?
No, I haven't seen that either. I'm sorry, Micah, but this can't be you talking about movies I haven't heard of or haven't seen. I'm sorry.
I'm not talking about deep cuts. I'm not talking about like films no one has ever heard of.
If it helps.
These are not...
I'll remind you that 10 minutes ago you found out that I haven't seen Pulp Fiction. So I hate to surprise you with Watchmen as well.
Yeah, but Watchmen at least came out in your lifetime.
I wouldn't know. I literally wouldn't know.
Assumed.
Sorry. Can't help you. Micah, wait, I can't do a generational gap yet. Okay, well, in the podcast, we're going to put the drop in here. I'm not playing the drops this episode because they're not Halloween themed, and I'm just a real stickler for a theme. But, Micah, will you start us off? Will you kick us off? What podcast is this?
Sure. Welcome to Gender Swap, the podcast with two transgender siblings. One of whom
How are you
had
feeling?
Had some adult party favors before we started broadcasting, and is right now struggling.
I see.
Just a tad. The other one is nodding sagely into his camera. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Micah. My pronouns are they, them, and she, her.
My name is Stevie, and I use he, they pronouns, and I'm more than happy to carry this stream as we go along, since you are on my Twitch channel after all. We haven't made a gender swap Twitch channel yet. Sorry, Micah. So don't worry, I will ferry you gently down the road of live streaming. You can't ferry someone down a road. The stream of life stream. Who gives a shit? Whatever. Oh yeah, my name is Stevie and I use he, they pronouns. Oh my God, I'm so excited to be here. Everyone in the chat has to say, wow, Stevie, wow, your Halloween assets look so awesome. Wow, 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 because I made them all by hand. So everybody has to pat me on the head and say how much you like me.
They're less charming whenever you,
Oh, boo, oh, boo. I like getting credit and I like getting attention and I will ask for what I need because that's who I am. Would you rather I don't express my needs?
No, you can express your needs, that's fine.
So the reason I made you do the intro so quick, in an abrupt manner that just really seemed to throw you off, the reason I asked was because I really, really wanted, thank you so much. Wow, thank you so much, everyone in the chat. Thank you so much, everyone in the chat, for complimenting me right now.
I'm going to edit all this out.
That's okay. Oh, it's a copy pasta now. Wow, Stevie, wow, your Halloween assets look so amazing. Wow, wow, wow. Everyone in the chat is saying it over and over and over. That's great. That's awesome. Thank you so much. So the reason I made you do the intro so suddenly was because I really, really, really wanted to do a generational gap segment because I wanted to ask what you were for Halloween when you were little. Did you have any interesting Halloween costumes? Any fun ones? Any cool ones?
One year when I was 2, I think I was a ghost.
Cute. Classic.
The costume, if I'm remembering correctly based on pictures I've seen, I don't remember it, was me with like white powder on my face.
Oh.
Wearing a pillowcase that had armholes and a head hole cut out so I could just kind of squeeze right into it.
Ever the thrifty woman our mother was. She said, you know what? I'm not going to waste a whole goddamn bed sheet on this fucker. It's 2. You get a pillowcase. That is extremely fucking funny. That's extremely funny.
Let's see. I was Robin Hood one year. That was a good costume.
That's cute.
One that Mom put together, and I really enjoyed being Robin Hood.
The hat stayed around throughout my whole childhood, and whenever I would play with it as a kid, I pretended it was a Peter Pan hat, the green hat with the red feather, because it works.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cute.
I was Death one year.
When did Mom let you dress up as Death? Like the Grim Reaper?
Yeah.
When?
First time I did it, I think, was 6th grade.
I'm so surprised she let you be the Grim Reaper.
Second time I did it, I believe, was 8th grade, and then I did it again once in college.
Sorry, pause. Okay, 6th grade, dressed up as Death for Halloween. 7th grade, got bullied really badly. 8th grade, pulls out the Death costume again just to be safe, and then we whip it out again in college, you know, just for fun. So...
different costumes every time.
I really like that you got a different interpretation every time. And at no point Mom was like, hey, are you sure? You wanna, we could pick a different one.
There's a, do you wanna chat with someone? There's a hotline we could maybe have you call.
Yeah. What's up with this fascination? Do you want to talk about it? And you're like, no, I'm just like a closet goth. Don't even worry about it. Turns out you should have been talking to a professional and you were a closet goth, so it all just kind of works out on the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One year in high school, I was a robot cyborg thing, except it rained really heavily that year.
No.
So...
were you cardboard?
The younger siblings could not... I wasn't cardboard, but I had like duct tape and stuff holding my costume together. It was raining really hard that year, and you guys weren't able to go out. Well, you weren't born yet, but the other siblings weren't able to go out yet for candy because it was raining so hard. So I ran around the whole neighborhood for them.
That's really sweet.
And got candy, and the costume completely fell apart by the second house.
Oh.
So most of the houses in our neighborhood just saw some asshole teenager, not in costume, running through the rain to collect candy.
You poor baby. Listen, that's a very altruistic mission. I think that's really sweet.
There was a candy tax. Don't get it twisted. There was a candy tax.
Oh, ulterior motives. I see. I think the last year that I trick-or-treated as a kid, I believe I was 14. It was 9th grade, and I was Wendy from Peter Pan, because the year prior I had played Wendy in the school musical, and because Mom did costuming, she made the Wendy nightgown and then got to keep it. So I just wore the exact same outfit, and it was super cute. There was one year I remember, I think it was like 1st grade, I was a like fairy princess, which I'm pretty sure just a fairy. I don't think I had a crown, but I did refer to myself as a fairy princess. And my biggest memory from that year was that I was waiting for it to get dark because Mom wouldn't let us go trick-or-treating before it got dark. She said that was the rule. I don't know if that's true. And then in following years, I saw people taking their kids out way earlier, so I don't know. Who cares? But I remember waiting, and I was like staring, watching the sunset, and I had just learned that little song, that little ditty, that goes, oh shit, what was it? Trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat. If you don't, I don't care. I'll pull down your underwear. And Mom was so fucking mad. She was so fucking mad. She was like, that is inappropriate. You are not
it's
going
not
to
the first
sing.
time she heard it.
No, I'm certain it's not. It's not like it's new. But she chewed my ass out. And I was like, I'm 6 and I like rhyming. What's the big deal? So that was
you're
really
threatening to pants someone for candy.
Like, come on. Again, I'm a woman who knows what she wants. I'm going after what I want. One year I was Heidi. From the classic literature. That's a deep cut for a kid my age at the time. That was 5th grade, I believe. And
One year I was Gambit.
Who?
Gambit from X-Men.
I haven't seen X-Men. Don't make a face at me.
I will make every face at you. You haven't any incarnation of X-Men.
No. Unfortunately, I don't care.
Okay.
I'm not a big movie guy, and whenever I do watch movies, I'm very, very picky in particular, which is why I get really, really frustrated when I see a mid or bad movie. I might make a lot of people in the chat mad, except hopefully I won't because it's a bunch of gay people here. I didn't care for Challengers very much. It wasn't as gay or as horny as I thought it should be. It was horny, but not in the right ways, and I just didn't really care for it very much. You haven't seen that, have you?
No.
Don't bother.
I should also mention, I forgot to mention before, in 11th grade, my costume was a goth. I just went as a goth that year.
That is so funny. That is such a good excuse too, to get some of those pieces of clothing, get to like experiment with that fashion a little bit. That's smart. That is
because Lord knows
smart.
Our extremely conservative Christian mother would never.
But for Halloween, a goth is just a freaky little thing to be for Halloween.
Yeah, that's just shit that scares you.
Yeah, in the chat user
Goths are.
Chat user the maybe said she went as herself, which yeah, you did. Yeah. I think that's delightful. I'm trying to remember any. In 7th grade, I was Agnes from Despicable Me because that had recently come out and that was very, very big. The downside, I didn't realize it at the time, but with the yellow shirt and the overalls, hey, that's the same outfit as the Minions. So even though I did not have the goggles or anything like that, in fact, Mom helped, because you remember what Agnes looks like? She has her hair like straight up in like that little fountain ponytail kind of thing. Mom helped me, like she put like a fucking water bottle inside of my ponytail on top of my head to make it stick straight up. It looked kind of fucked up, but it was really cute. But everybody kept asking me all night if I was a Minion, and I was like, wow, what a waste. What a fucking waste. Because even then, the Minions were still considered kind of, like they'd started to be considered kind of cringe and overdone. I don't really know what I expected. What can you do? Did
people asked you if you were a baby boomer meme?
Essentially.
Are you a baby boomer? Is there a sentence and then the words bottom text here over a picture of a Minion? Is that your costume?
I don't even think that they would have been boomer memes at that point yet, because it took them about 2 years, I think, after Despicable Me came out to start doing that, and then it really ramped up over the last 10. But I feel like it took a second for that to get to that point, at least. I may be wrong, though. Did Mom and Dad ever dress up for Halloween that you could remember? No. Dad did, right? Wasn't there like some costume Dad did one year? I feel like I remember him being a pirate for something. Didn't Dad have a pirate costume? I remember Mom referencing that at some point.
Maybe when you were younger, after I moved out at some point. But
I don't remember it being when I was younger.
Nothing prior to that. No.
Because I remember hearing about that and thinking, oh, that must have been before I was born. So now I have no clue. I'm going to text Mom and ask. Let's see if we can get an answer on the podcast. Did Dad ever dress up? What are you looking up?
Okay. I was just curious if you had ever seen this image before. It's a very important image. I think you should show it to
oh no.
The chat.
Oh dear. Okay.
Of an AI generated image.
I have that image saved on my phone for reaction purposes. I'm not kidding. Hold on. That sucks. Okay. Yeah. I'll show it on the chat.
People were like, is that your costume?
I'll show the chat. Hold on. Stupid. I have this image I have this image saved on my phone for regular use. Yeah. They're like, is this you? Was this you? No, it wasn't. Hey, I just realized that you can see 2 other minions in the back getting crucified in this image. I did not realize that they did the actual...
Yeah.
Huh. I did not realize that they actually did the full the full scene there.
There's probably a couple of other minions just out of frame about to jam a spear up into that one.
Oh my goodness. In the chat, Barbosa just reminded me that we should also be good podcasters and describe what we're looking at based on context. I hope the podcast has realized this is an image of a crucified minion. End of sentence. And in the back, there's 2 other minions being crucified, but in the sort of distant, blurry background to where I didn't even notice them until now, which is very, very artful. I'm glad the chat's getting a real kick out of it. Hi, Kofik. I'm glad you joined just in time to see the crucified minion. Happy Halloween. Sucks.
But, yeah, he died for your sins.
For mine. Okay, here's the thing. I like this concept a lot because, okay, Jesus, his whole deal, did a lot of good stuff, and then him dying for your sins, that made it so that all the good stuff is on you. Here's the thing. The Minions whole thing, from what I've gathered, I haven't seen the movie, but from what I've gathered, the lore is that they try to support the most, like, evil person on the face of the planet at all times. And then they did take a nap for about a century where they probably would have been active during World War II, which was pretty slick on Illumination's part. I'll say they dodged a big fat bullet with that one, didn't they?
Yeah, Harry Potter doesn't even mention that the wizards were around during World War II
and didn't really do anything
it with their magical powers.
Yeah, they didn't really even fucking mention it. Sad. So Kalfik is getting the idea in the chat. Did the minions die for our good deeds? Because it seems like this is perhaps the exact inverse of Jesus Christ. And I feel like there's an additional mythology being developed, I fear. I digress.
No, I think that much like Jesus, the minions, all in all, are blameless children of God, direct children of God. They were immaculately conceived.
Not true. Not true. No way is that true. I'm pretty sure Gru invented them. That can't be right. This is a Halloween episode.
I think they exist.
I don't want to...
Like the Oompa Loompas, I think they existed outside of Gru before Gru existed, because they existed all through time, hooking up with the most evil guy ever. That was like a plot of the movie.
I have to look it up.
Like they existed prior to Gru. They were alive through history.
You're right. That was stupid. Gru definitely didn't create them.
No. And anyway, I'm suggesting that even though they helped a lot of evil bad guys throughout history, they're ultimately blameless.
Blameless.
what is good? What is bad? Let's get philosophical. Show them the other meme that I put in the chat, in our chat.
Okay, this news article is total bullshit because they're just citing a YouTuber who said that they think the Minions were invented during World War II, which is insensitive and inaccurate based on Minions lore. So, what else did you put in the chat, Micah? Hold on. You... Okay, fine. Fine, I'll subject the watcher to that as well. Your father and I are getting a divorce, and it's just two minions just smiling pleasantly. So this is...
It's important the chat should know.
It's important the chat should know. There's a first-time chatter here saying the crown of thorns is killing me. So you clicked into the stream, you saw the minion Jesus, and immediately followed. I like you. I fuck with you like crazy. This is a Halloween episode. We need to focus the fuck up. Do you hear me? I can't talk.
I'm focused.
I can't talk about Minions lore right now. Isn't this specifically the Minions Bob and Kevin? Barbosa asks. I don't know. Kalfik asks, is divorce in Minion Christianity fine, or is that unrelated? I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure if Minions have souls. You said that they were also covered by the blood of Christ, but I don't know if that's true.
No. I'm saying that you can use a minion in place of the blood of Christ.
Oh.
That's just in the Bible.
Because they are, quote unquote, immaculately conceived. Okay, again, actions are really, really, really important, and the Minions made a habit of doing bad actions.
Who are you to say those actions are bad?
Okay, I am not going to get into this with you because you're being a contrarian, and I would like to have a pleasant, fun, spooky Halloween episode in which the spooky part is the fun stuff we're talking about and not the massive fight I'm about to get into with you.
One year at Halloween, I was the devil in a green leisure suit.
Is that a true story, or are you quoting something? Is that a true story? Please, please, please say it's true. Oh my God, please say it's true.
I have pictures.
Why a green leisure suit? Tell me now.
Because it had been our father's.
Hold on.
Inherited it.
Now, what the fuck was Dad doing with a green leisure suit?
Thing was like brand new when I got it.
That
Except it had been bought in like the mid-70s.
That is so
tragic. Polyester as hell would burst into flames if it looked at a lit match.
For sale, green leisure suit, never worn.
But yeah, no, I wore it 1 year
to be the devil.
I think I wore it my last year in college, actually, and it was like one of my last classes I had to take, and it was a not bullshit class, but it was Balinese gamelan in the School of Music. It was like the absolute last class I had to take because I had to fulfill one last requirement for the School of Music. And they were like, well, it's Halloween. Let's all come in our costumes. So I was devil in a green leisure suit. Had the suit, had a pair of horns.
That's fun. I really like the vibe of the devil approaching in this slick ass suit. I really, really like that. The chat, Kalfik said, I'm not sure you can sully the blood of Christ. And then the maybe said, I'm sure you could sully the blood of Christ with enough peanut butter. And then Kalfik said, not spiritually. So I like that we've sparked a theological discussion in the chat as well.
We need to be careful because soon there may be a schism in the theological beliefs of the chat. And then the chat's going to break into like,
oh no,
Orthodox, like Eastern Orthodox chat and like normal, or not normal, but you know, like the Western Catholic.
You accidentally saying normal instead of Western Catholic is crazy. Barb said,
edit out of the final episode.
You guys get all the nasty shit we say. Barb said, schism? As a Protestant, I love schisms. Real. Also, I'm gonna reverse the direction that my green frame is going because I keep leaning in such a way that the spider is like covering up my eye, and it's kind of throwing me off a little bit because I keep thinking there's something like nasty or spooky on me when it's just a little spider. Yay, that's so much better. Oh my God. Micah, do you want to do a Mischievous Boys segment?
Sure.
Yeah! I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So
you really should have had the drops. You could play the theme song for the chat so they can hear like.
Okay, hold on. I'll pull it up in the background. Hold on. Well, I'm not gonna hold it up like that, so I'll start reading this first, but I'll still pull them up for the next drops.
Sure.
So this is coming to us hot off the press from October 27th, 2017, from the Smithsonian Magazine. When Halloween was all tricks and no treats. And god damn, it had not even occurred to me before that I would have to... That I would even be considering the history of trick-or-treat. I don't know why it didn't occur to me, because it seems, in my brain, like an age-old institution, which is insane, because there is no world in which that is the case. But somehow the history of Halloween just never really occurred to me as something that I should be curious about. So I'm really, really excited to go over it with y'all. So 19th century urbanization, this is the subtitle, unleashed the nation's anarchic spirits, turning holiday mischief into mayhem. Oh, I'm so excited. Imagine, pre-electricity, no moon, it's late October, and the people whisper, "This is a season for witchery, the night the spirits of the dead rise from their graves and hover behind the hedges. The wind kicks up, and branches click like skeletal finger bones. You make it home, run inside, wedge a chair against the door, and strain to listen. There's a sharp rap at the window, and when you turn, terrified, it's there leering at you. A glowing, disembodied head with a deep black hole where its mouth should be. It's just a scooped-out pumpkin, nicked from a field by some local boys and lit from the inside with the stub of a candle, but it has spooked you, and when you look again, it's gone." Halloween in early 19th century America was a night for pranks, tricks, illusions, and anarchy. I like that they keep saying anarchy. What, Micah?
They're misusing anarchy. That's not what anarchy is. Anarchy
No, totally.
There's no hierarchy. It has nothing to do with there being chaos or whatever. It is propaganda put forth by the bourgeoisie that anarchy equals disorder and chaos and bad things can happen, and a guy riding on the back of a Bigfoot truck with an electric guitar flamethrower, like that's not not anarchy. Anarchy just means no hierarchy. It's propaganda, damn it.
Anarcho-communism. Man, I don't even have that drop to put it in here.
But Halloween is older than the article is talking about that you're talking about. It goes back centuries.
Oh yeah, no. To be clear, I know that Halloween is older. This is talking specifically. This is specifically about the custom of trick-or-treating in America.
Oh, okay. Is this the holiday equivalent of us winning the space race?
Will you pay attention?
I'm trying, but the article is talking about something. Oh, when America started doing it.
Micah, we're 2 paragraphs in, and the point of this episode is to learn. You can't critique and question the history and the efficacy of this article if you haven't heard it yet. You're cheating. You're cheating.
I'm just going based on what you've read so far.
Like 2 paragraphs. Okay. So you can continue to pause me, and you can continue to critique. But I need you to reserve your full judgments until the end. And also, I will look up counter evidence as needed. Barbosa, by the way, said that you're doing your Red Scare costume justice with this political theory, so I hope you're pleased.
I'm very pleased. I if nothing else, I'm a method actor. I get into character.
And that's something we love about you. So they're talking about anarchy in a way that is not accurate. Apparently people were dangling jack-o'-lanterns from the ends of sticks. Teens were jumping out from behind walls to terrorize smaller kids. Fucking teens, man. Like the pumpkin patches and pageants that kids love today, it was all in good fun. But then over time, it wasn't. What?
Fun fact about jack-o'-lanterns. They originally weren't made of pumpkins.
It's turnips.
They were turnips. Because pumpkins, that's a New World thing. They hadn't been discovered yet.
Oh, yeah. Such a good
Halloween
point.
was
pre-America, pre-New World.
Discovering, also known as colonizing, also known as ruining everything, as Europeans frequently do throughout history.
Typical. The highest number of jack-o'-lanterns ever displayed in one place is 3,581. I don't even know who cares about that, but that's neat. Oh, apparently the tradition of carving jack-o'-lanterns comes from Irish folklore. That's cool as hell. If I remember correctly, the purpose was to, like, ward off spirits, correct? Look at this fucker. Look at this turnip head fucker.
Let me... its name comes from the phenomena of strange lights flickering over peat bogs. Oh. It's suggested that the name also has ties to the Irish legend of Stingy Jack, a drunkard who bargains with Satan and is doomed to roam the earth with only a hollowed turnip to light his way.
Man, that myth is badass. God dang.
Meanwhile, American myths are shit like, there's a guy named John. He goes by Johnny, and he fucking loves apples.
We also have Paul Bunyan, and his whole deal is that he's big as shit.
We also have, John Henry.
Who?
The guy that, like...
John Henry Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt?
No, there was an American fable about John Henry, who's a guy who's like, you know, fuck this automation and fuck these new tools. I'm a prove that good old-fashioned grit and muscle power is better than the newer tools. And I think it was a jackhammer that he went up against that was digging. And anyway, John Henry, like, wins.
That's really interesting because, like, factually,
Let's see if I'm saying the right name.
Okay. Oh my goodness! Thank you for resubscribing, Will.
Oh, he was John Henry was a guy who was tasked with hammering a steel drill into a rock to make holes for explosives to blast the rock and constructing a railroad tunnel.
Okay.
And he went up, like, he raced against a steam-powered rock drill. Oh. And he won because, yeah, it's great. But it's also, the subtler message is we should destroy tools such as automation that will take away jobs.
The interesting thing is that, like, in this case, there are machines that can dig better than a human, but, like, the machine itself isn't necessarily the problem. It's the way that the laborers end up being sidelined, exploited, and fucked over in general by automation. That's really interesting.
So actually, another way around this, if the workers get fed up with it and they decide to maybe change the locks on the factory door and take tools for themselves and arm themselves up and fight off the Pinkertons,
they can if they want.
Probably the cops who will also come, because all cops are bastards and they, you know, they're agents of the state violence.
You know how it goes.
The cops will come as well, but maybe, just maybe, if they do it hard enough, they'll kickstart a glorious people's revolution. Yeah, they will kickstart a glorious people's revolution.
The real scare tonight, worker exploitation. Sorry, I scrolled up in the chat and I saw that the chat member Hubby Schmoke said, I must now break that record, in reference to the 30,000 plus jack-o'-lanterns that were all in one place. And then they said, the farmer's market's gonna hate to see me coming. And I'm really stuck on that. Oh, Calfix said that another purpose of jack-o'-lanterns was so the ghosts of your loved ones can find their way back home, in some places at least. So I think that's cute. Yeah, automation should help workers, not replace them. Exactly. So let's circle back. Okay, I've got to get that fucking minion out of here. Gone. Out. Okay, so circling back to early 19th to 20th century America. Teens doing a ruckus. Everyone's mad at teens. So as America modernized and urbanized, mischief turned to mayhem and eventually incited a movement to quell what the mid-20th century press note. Fucking newspapers are complaining about it. This is just fucking Fox News shit. They started calling it the Halloween problem. And they wanted to make the holiday a safer diversion for youngsters. And if it weren't for the tricks of the past, there'd be no treats today, supposedly. So Halloween itself was born nearly 2,000 years ago in the Celtic countries of northwestern Europe. November 1st was the right time for it. The date cut the agricultural year in two. It was Samhain, summer's end, the beginning of the dangerous season of darkness and cold, which according to folklore created a rift in reality that set spirits free, both good and bad. Those spirits were to blame for the creepy things, people lost in fairy mounds, dangerous creatures that emerged from the mist, that happened at that time of year. Immigrants from Ireland and Scotland brought their Halloween superstitions to America in the 18th and 19th century. I'm going to scroll down. And their youngsters, our great and great-great-grandfathers, became the first American masterminds of mischief. So kids strung ropes across sidewalks to trip people in the dark, tied the doorknobs of opposing apartments together so they couldn't open them. That's so fucked up. That's extremely funny. They're just going back and forth like that. That's no good. Mowed down shrubs, upset swill barrels. What is swill? I've heard of that. What is that? What is swill? I should imagine it to be nasty. What is that? Pig feed?
I assume.
Okay. Rattled or soaped windows, and once filled the streets of Catalina Island with boats. Pranksters coated chapel seats with molasses in 1887, exploded pipe bombs for kicks in 1888, and smeared the walls of new houses with black paint in 1891. 200 boys in Washington, D.C. used bags of flour to attack well-dressed folks on streetcars in 1894. That fucking rules. That
I'd like to point out
rules.
200 boys in Washington, D.C. attacking the well-dressed street folks in streetcars.
So they could afford cars, and they were well-dressed.
This was praxis.
That's praxis. I'm not even complaining about that. I'm going to complain.
Were fighting the bourgeoisie. Those kids are well, pre-Mao, but they're like, they're little Maoists uprising.
I will object to the apartment doorknobs. I will object to the pipe bombs big time. I'll object to the molasses chapel seats. If the church sucked at least. Okay, so you don't object to the random pipe bombs going off. Note how this will be recorded and used against you in court.
I'm not suggesting anyone do it. I'm just saying I don't object to setting off pipe bombs for kicks in 1888. Television has not been invented yet. The internet is not a thing. Radio isn't even on the horizon.
Like, what else is there?
The only thing you can do for entertainment
is
make your own toys, and if the only toy you know how to make is a pipe bomb,
yeah. Because that's
kids
how
they're gonna make something to play with.
Yeah, it's what your dear old dad used to make for Christmas. The chat pointed out something very pertinent, which is that a streetcar, I don't know why I was thinking regular car, a streetcar is a trolley. I knew that at some point, don't know why I was thinking otherwise. So it is mass transit. So they may not have been rich, they were well-dressed, and they did specify that they were attacking well-dressed people. So my hope is that they weren't attacking the rando poor people. But it is still funny. I will say, the concept is crazy. Taking a bag of flour onto a fucking bus and dumping it on people, 200 boys doing that at the same time, terrifying. That is the past equivalent of all of those teen boys who went to go see Minions dressed in suits and were like storming movie theaters a couple years ago. This is just their early trend. This is their Tide Pod.
Except the kids, the young men who went dressed in nice suits to watch the Minions, they didn't disrupt anything. However,
theoretically, I think they actually did a little bit.
The fans of Rick and Morty who freaked out because they couldn't get their Szechuan sauce is probably a closer analogy.
That is a very good way to put it. That's an extremely good way to put it. I will note that in some cases, the boys in suits at Minions were like running down to the screen and like moshing, but that wasn't super common. So I agree that it is a lot more like the Szechuan sauce situation. Oh my goodness, these little Halloween cards are so cute. Look how fresh. Oh no, they're stomping a boy. Never mind. Sorry, the reveal as I scrolled down was astonishing. And the caption is, teens used to terrorize smaller children on Halloween. Sorry, I don't think the postcard's cute anymore. So in this era, when Americans generally lived in small communities and better knew their neighbors, it was often the local grouch who was the brunt of Halloween mischief. Go on.
I would like to point out that this is just one narrative that has survived about the time. It's not showing photographs of kids doing this.
It's the drawings.
And could very well be the 19th century version of Fox News being all, ooh, the knockout game.
Like, causing like a fake panic kind of thing. That makes sense.
This could be their equivalent of freaking out about Satanism and D&D.
Yeah, that is a good point. Because a lot of these are like just drawings. That is a good point. There's a lot of art in this, but I am wondering if we're going to see proper photographs. Also, chat, let me know if you're able to hear the music in the background. I can, so I'm pretty sure you can, but let me know if our levels need adjusting or if I need to adjust Micah. I should have said that 45 minutes ago. So I feel kind of bad because it says that the local grouch was often the brunt of Halloween mischief. So if you were just like a person minding your own fucking business and you didn't want to like be super involved in your community for whatever reason, that kind of blows that everyone's ganging up on you a little bit.
Not necessarily.
Elaborate.
Someone who just doesn't want to like be involved with their community isn't automatically a grouch.
Okay.
Now, someone who complains vocally about everything else in their community, that's a grouch.
That's more likely. That's a very good point. You may be right.
So all these kids were doing were like, old lady Mabel, who lives down the street, has been freaking out about us and claiming we're beating the crap out of smaller kids and setting off pipe bombs, when in reality, we are doing none of these things.
There's so many different examples too. Like the paint on the windows, the soap on the windows, the rope being strung across sidewalks, the apartment door thing. There's so many different examples.
Soap on a window. How will we ever wash it off?
Okay, calm down, because you just picked the least offensive out of the laundry list of offenses I just listed, okay? The rope across the sidewalk could severely injure or disable someone. Like, come on. You picked the soap out of all of it.
Did the rope across the sidewalk actually happen, though? Or is it, yet again,
yellow journalism?
Another case of yellow journalism, or the local grouch, who's also probably pretty conservative, complaining about those damn kids and their activities that I don't understand because I've aged and I no longer have neuroplasticity and therefore cannot learn as well about the world around me. So the things I see on a daily basis frighten and scare me, as though the flickering lights were dragging me closer and closer to my inevitable death.
Right. Yeah. I can't tell if you're writing fan fiction or if the Smithsonian Magazine is writing fan fiction right now. So I'll progress. I'm
writing the truth.
Okay. You've done no research. I'll proceed. So the way these kids were fucking with the local grouch was by doing shit like sticking rocking chairs onto roofs, setting pigs free from sties. And when the early 20th century Americans moved into crowded urban centers full of big city problems like poverty, segregation, and unemployment, pranking took on a new edge. Kids were pulling fire alarms, throwing bricks through shop windows, and painted obscenities on the principal's home.
It's all praxis. Every bit of that is praxis.
Right. Oh, get this. The next sentence says, they struck out blindly against property owners, adults, and authority in general. Let's fucking go.
These are young anarchists who believe in the propaganda of the deed. Therefore, you've got to write an F-bomb or two on the side of your principal's house. What is school? What is school if not a prison? Right. Because you're required, in America at least, you're required by law to be in schooling of some sort. If you decide to leave school, you can be caught by a truancy officer who is a police officer who can decide that you are a threat if you decide to resist hard enough to not go to school, that officer of the law can then kill you. So the only reason you're in school is under threat of deadly violence.
That is such a good point.
These kids, these revolutionaries, they're fighting back against that system.
They are. See, when I found out about, like, truancy as a kid, it scared the shit out of me because it legitimately did not occur to me that school would be enforced by law. I truly thought that this was something everybody was engagingly, like, were willingly engaging in for the good of society or something. As if.
No, schools. The only reason that public schooling really exists.
Gotta prep you for that.
And it doesn't matter how much they end up dumbing it down and all that, and cutting like actual classes to teach kids thing, is they need it to be daycare so that the parents can then go out to work and do things, and the kids will have somebody taking care of them and whatnot. It's so that they can squeeze more productivity out of people. By the way, this is the Halloween episode, so I'm talking about the scary things.
Which you are, which is good. Yeah. This is a regular episode so far. Oh, Hubby Schmokes in the chat pointed out, schools have legal authority over you while you're there, and in some states they can give the police permission to search you and your belongings if they can't contact parents. That's not good. Oh, also, so the kids were begging for money or sweets and threatened vandalism if they didn't receive them. So that's where... Right, that's where the kind of treat part started coming into it a little, it seems. So some grown-ups began to fight back.
The kids are running a racket game. That's totally... They're entrepreneurs.
Adults
the kids, if
happy.
nothing else, they're like an insurance company where they're like, if you would like to be insured, that we don't do bad things to your house. We don't set your pigs loose or spread soap across your windows, with which you will never be free.
Break your windows. They also broke the windows.
They broke the windows of businesses.
That's true.
Businesses that were privately owned and were not owned by the workers of those businesses in most cases.
As far as you know. So they started like snitching and reporting on these kids. Newspapers in the early 20th century reported incidents of homeowners firing buckshot at pranksters who were only 11 or 12 years old. Are you insane? Oh my God, this is crazy.
No, this is Stevie. This is America. Yeah. This still happens where homeowners will randomly like shoot a delivery guy or something because he got the wrong house.
Very good point. This next part. This next part's bonkers. Letting the air out of tires isn't fun anymore, wrote the superintendent of schools of Rochester, New York, in a newspaper editorial in 1942, as U.S. participation in World War II was escalating. It's sabotage. Soaping windows isn't fun this year. Your government needs soaps and greases for the war. Even ringing doorbells has lost its appeal because it may mean disturbing the sleep of a tired war worker who needs his rest. So it's a propaganda thing. It's a propaganda thing again. That's so interesting.
This is the 1940s.
Yeah.
Being the equivalent of, if you do this, you're helping the terrorists.
Yeah. Basically,
that's all this is. They're saying if you're helping the terrorists, and it's good that we have this for the war machine, and blah 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 blah. When really,
I don't know if that's true.
You're saying that Halloween, if you celebrate Halloween, you are on the side of terror.
One night a year, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they also kept trying to change Halloween because of the issue. The same year, the Chicago City Council voted to abolish Halloween and instead institute a conservation day on October 31st. Implementation got kicked to the mayor, who doesn't appear to have done much about it. That is extremely funny. He was like, I don't give a fuck about this dog. I'm not doing that shit. So I guess we never got a conservation day. And here's the thing. I don't think that's referring to like the earth. I'm pretty sure that's referring to conservation of materials for the state. Like, I am pretty certain that that's what that's referring to.
Or private property.
Or private property. Yeah. The effort to restrain and recast the holiday continued after World War II as adults moved Halloween celebrations indoors and away from destructive tricks and gave the holiday over to younger and younger children. The Senate Judiciary Committee under President Truman recommended Halloween be repurposed as Youth Honor Day in 1950, hoping that communities would celebrate and cultivate the moral fiber of children. Nerd.
I want to point out, this again is the 1950s is doing the equivalent of these video games are ruining young kids.
Yeah, video games are making our kids violent. Yeah. Yeah.
They didn't have anything else to complain about. Also, I want to point out that up until like after World War II, teenagers weren't really an actual demographic. You were just kind of considered like basically an adult by that point.
Yeah.
By the time you're in your mid-teens or whatever, and you were kind of expected to go work. But then post-World War II, they were like, no, the kids need to be in school for a bit longer. So their parents can work more. And then once the kid's educated enough to like go work in a factory, the kid can go work in said factory or whatever. But like, I lost my train of thought. This is very annoying. Damn it.
That's okay. The House of Representatives, sidetracked by the Korean War, because God knows we can't stay out of fucking wars, they neglected to act on the Youth Honor Day motion. What?
I remember now.
Oh, what was that? Tell me.
So teenagers, anyway, as a demographic, was created by Edward Bernays, the father of propaganda.
What?
And shit. So advertisers started advertising shit as being to teenagers. And the idea of what teenagers like is all having cars so they can go drive themselves around and whatnot. Like so many movies in the 1950s that are aimed at teens are about the teens driving around town doing whatever they want. With the car being a symbol of freedom, but in order for the teens to have a car, the teens have to buy a car. So it's propaganda to get the teens to buy into having a car as a symbol of their freedom.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Micah be like, teenagers were invented for propaganda purposes.
No, for capitalism. Teenagers were invented so that to get another demographic.
Teenagers were invented to sell more cars.
Yes, teenagers were invented to sell more cars.
I see what you're saying 100%, but you are playing into a very specific stereotype. I'm enjoying this immensely about leftists in general, but I think you're probably right anyway, and I do think it's funny. So they couldn't get the House of Representatives to care all that much about Youth Honor Day because of the whole, war in Korea. So they didn't do anything, but there were communities who individually took it up. So on October 31st in 1955 in Ocala, Florida, What Up Florida mention, a Youth Honor Day king and queen were crowned at a massive party sponsored by the local Moose Lodge, of course.
The Moose Lodge. So the old farts who gather together in their secret club where they do secret club things like probably touch tips. That's why they didn't talk about it to their families. Woo-hoo. But
let's hear it for touching tips.
Like the old guys are the ones like, well, we'll pick two of these young nubile teenagers to be the king and queen.
Fiber. Yeah.
The moral fibrous teens.
Imagine being the king and queen of Youth Honor. Come on.
That's like being the king and queen of the homeschool prom.
King and queen. Oh, sorry. It took me a second to process what you said. Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. Let me see. Sorry. That chat message is foul. I'm not reading that on the podcast. Sorry. Okay. So as late as 1962, a New York City mayor, Robert F. Wagner Jr., wanted to change Halloween to UNICEF Day to shift the emphasis of the night to charity. So they're really trying to go for like a good cause kind of thing.
No, not a good cause, because charity is something that was actually invented by the bourgeoisie as a means to sort of alleviate the problems of the poor without actually addressing the root problems of the poor. So no, once again, they're taking something, an anarchic holiday, an actual anarchic holiday about fighting back against the bourgeoisie
against authority,
and the ruling class, against authority, and they're trying to turn it into a thing that basically supports and reifies the existing system.
Yeah, I'll incorporate that into my belief system. So the real solution was already gaining in practice by that time. Since there were already children demanding sweets or money, why not turn it into a constructive tradition? Teach them how to politely ask for sweets from neighbors and urge adults to have treats at the ready. The first magazine articles detailing trick or treat in the US appeared in the American Home, I'm assuming a magazine, in the late 1930s. Radio programs aimed at children, such as the Baby Snooks show, whatever the fuck that is, and TV shows aimed at families, like the Jack Benny program, put the idea of trick-or-treating in front of a national audience. The 1952 Donald Duck cartoon Trick or Treat reached millions via movie screens and TV. It featured the antics of Huey, Dewey, and Louie, who, with the help of Witch Hazel's potions, get Uncle Donald to give them candy instead of the explosives he first pops into their treat bags? Those are your nephews. What's wrong with you? I know where they got the fucking pipe bombs. It was for Donald fucking Duck.
Also, again, all of this, the only reason that it got pushed as an idea of like adults to give out treats and candy and whatever was because it's advertising for a bunch of candy companies and whatnot to be like, you know, we're kind of dead outside of like Christmas being and Valentine's being the two big one. We need another holiday somewhere kind of in between them.
Right. And now Halloween was
that could be just about candy.
To sell more candy.
Halloween, that's perfect.
Right.
And also, maybe we can get the kids to stop spray painting cusses on the side of my house and soaping my windows. The most frightening activity of all.
Sorry. I think it's really fucked up that Uncle Donald gave his nephews explosives. I feel like we kind of washed over that part, but that's okay.
What did the nephews do? Did they deserve it?
They did trick or treat. Okay, Micah, are you on the side of the anarchist or the guy who's giving his nephews pipe bombs? You're just being a contrarian right now. You're just being contrarian right now. I will end this Discord call and I'll do the whole thing myself.
No, it's even worse than that. It's an allegory for the Battle of Blair Mountain, where in this case, the nephews were representing the 10,000 miners who fought against.
I've turned your volume down. They can't hear you. They can't hear you.
Doesn't matter. It's in the podcast.
I turned it on just in time for it doesn't matter. It's in the podcast, which is perfect.
I'm just saying it's an allegory.
Let me finish my article. Okay. So magazines, radio shows, and TV shows, all of this advertising shit, which you are right about. It was like through the means of advertising that they got people to start doing trick or treat. And I will agree that it probably served a twofold purpose. I'm not gonna lie, you're probably right in a certain extent. The transition apparently was slow. On one episode of The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, costumed kids came to the door and Ozzie and Harriet are baffled. Okay, that's in TV, not real life, so write that down. Oh, bitch, you were so right. But food companies, Beatrice Food, Borden, National Biscuit Company, quickly took notice and got into the candy business, and even tobacco companies like Philip Morris jumped in.
Yes, because what Philip Morris did was create something called candy cigarettes, which was candy that looked like cigarettes to kind of implant the idea in young children who could not buy cigarettes yet that, hey, smoking is cool.
That's such a good point. It never occurred to me that would be why candy cigarettes exist, but that is an extremely good point. It was so kids could pretend to smoke and think it looked cool.
Also, sugar is addictive. It is an addictive substance.
Baby's first addictive habit.
So they were basically marketing an addictive chemical to children.
Yeah, they did.
And that's what Halloween is. Now, according to the popular way the culture does it, as opposed to what it should be, which is letting the air out of the tires on cop cars and putting soap on your high school principal's window.
I like that you've kind of pivoted all of the things to be falling upon the high school principal. I really like that in your imagination, it's just the one high school principal getting fucked over year after year after year.
Because the middle schoolers don't have cars yet.
They don't.
But the high schoolers who have bought into the American dream but realize it has fallen flat, and so therefore they must fight back against the lie that they've been told.
Hey,
are going out there and setting pigs free.
Hell yeah, why not? What I was gonna ask, is Andrea, Micah's wife, is Andrea giving out candy?
No.
That's so sad.
We're not giving out candy this year.
No partaking.
Nah. To be honest, we don't actually get a lot of trick-or-treaters here because I have it on good authority, namely what I see people on Facebook talking about is they're taking their kids to the nice neighborhoods.
I've heard that in the past like 10 years. Even when I was in like middle and high school, I'd started hearing that where they were like, where other kids were like, oh, my parents takes us to the rich neighborhood. And I'm like, oh, mine doesn't. Thanks. But right now, at the end of my like porch walkway, I set up my step ladder, and on the top step, I put my pumpkin, my jack-o'-lantern that I carved with an ooh-woo face last Friday, and I need to show the chat while I'm thinking about it because I definitely put it in Discord. And then on the next step, I did put a little bucket of candy. This is my first year giving out candy, so I think it's funny that you have stopped giving out candy this year. Okay. There it is. I'm gonna show the gang. This is my pumpkin that I carved all by myself. Very, very cute. So, oh, I forgot about the turnip mummy. Sorry, turnip jack-o'-lantern. And then I have a bowl of candy.
That is a very cute pumpkin.
Thank you. I'm so proud of it.
I have to address this in chat.
Yeah.
Shake my head. Even the radical anarcho-leftists cannot envision a future that isn't car dependent. Right now, no, just because of how American infrastructure is built. We don't have a train system or even like a reliable bus system or whatnot to have everybody go to the direct action. It's probably better that they all have individual vehicles such as cars, because that just happens to be the tools that we have at this moment.
Which sucks, because we would like to be able to move over to a very elaborate, very fast, like high-speed train system. That would be ideal. But with what we have right now...
There will be a transitory period between when we get the high-speed rail and public transit and all that stuff and where we are now. But at the point whenever the people are doing a lot of direct action, you're probably all going to be piling in the back of somebody's Subaru to go take the soap and use it to cover the principal's window.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, but I left a note, like, next to my jack-o'-lantern that says, help yourself to a handful. And then on the next step, it says, like, for all ages, parentheses, that means you. Because I know there aren't a lot of kids living in my neighborhood, but I know that there are a fair amount of weed smokers. So I really hope that if somebody goes out for a walk, they'll get to get a nice little munchie snack. That's what I
Also in chat, somebody, Hubby Smokes, said, give me a bullet train or give me death.
Precisely.
I will raise you one. Bullet train or the ballot box.
Bullet train or the ballot box. Sorry, lost my place on my article. Oh, it was the cigarette companies. That's what okay, that's how we got on that. Because we were talking about tobacco companies joining in, candy cigarettes. Yes, okay, that's how we got there. Became super profitable, like, immediately, obviously. Halloween candy and costume profits hit $300 million in 1965 and kept rising. Trick-or-treating, child-oriented and ideal for the emerging suburbs that housed a generation of baby boomers, became synonymous with Halloween. Reckless behavior was muted, and porch lights welcomed costume kids coast to coast.
I want to point out that now you have a highly addictive substance, sugar, which can cause people, in many cases of overconsumption, to have diabetes, which then means the pharmaceutical companies can make more money off of what become lifelong customers.
It's all connected.
They are now a secondary market. This is me putting on my tinfoil hat now.
Oh, this is fun. Okay. I like that hat. That's so cute. Where'd you get it? So now, oh yeah, they're talking about trick-or-treat variants like trunk or treat, where kids go car to car in a parking lot asking for candy. I've never done it. I never did it as a kid. That never appealed to me personally. I thought it seemed kind of lame, but it's probably very safe for your little kids. And that's why a lot of people like it. There's a trick-or-treat for UNICEF, where youngsters collect money for charity along with their treats. Few children, especially young ones, have an inkling of what mischief was once possible. For those nostalgic about the old days of Halloween mischief, all is not lost. Query the MIT police about the dissected and reassembled police car placed atop the Great Dome on the college Cambridge campus in 1994. That rules! They took apart a police car and carried it on top of the roof and put it back together? At Cambridge? That rules. Or ask the New York City pranksters who decorated a Lexington Avenue subway car as a haunted house in 2008. That's very fun. There's also an annual naked pumpkin run in Boulder, Colorado. It would be in Colorado.
Okay. One of these things is not like the other.
I agree. Which is it for you?
You know what? It's the
It's a cop car?
It's the haunted subway car from 2008. Because the other two are just harmless japes.
Okay, but
whereas the subway car is disrupting public transit.
That's a good point. Not very praxis of them.
No, really isn't.
Girl, that is not very praxis of you. So the modern Halloween prank, be it spectacle, internet joke, entertainment, or clever subversion, is a treat in disguise, an offering that's usually as much fun for the tricked as it is for the trickster. Halloween is still seen as a day to cause mischief, mock authority, and make the haves give to the have-nots, or at least shine a light on the fact that they should. For that, Americans can thank the long line of pranksters who came before us. Yeah, like, while y'all are enjoying your cushy holiday where they just give you fucking candy for free, we used to have to racketeer to get candy. We used to have to extort and terrorize and do pipe bombs to get candy.
We used to have to go down the street to Miss Mabel's house, the local grouch, and threaten her with bodily grievous harm if she did not give us, treats, which at this point at the 19th century wasn't necessarily candy. Could have been like cookies or some shit.
Yeah, or like
in which case you were demanding the grouch bake for you.
That's a whole other thing then.
As penance for being a jerk all year.
Yeah. So I want to take a quick break so I can go pee. And the fun thing that's going to happen on this break also is that I'm going to play for the chat a cool fucking song Micah wrote, composed, sang, performed, etc. called Hallow Fiend. And I'm very excited to play it for you guys. So, Micah, if you'd go on mute during this break, we will be right back.
When frothing Stygian hounds tear bane across misted moor, and sepulchres fill with shrieking as though the rending of ancient iron doors, and things long dead, once interred in catacombs and heavy vaulted tombs, now stalk these ancestral halls, haunting room to room. The tortured screams of this legion of damned souls echoes across the oaken panels, whispering of the grudges they hold. So pray to your gods, cross yourselves what means, for in the end you'll still die when you come to the Hallow Fiend.
I'm the Hallow Fiend. People find the things that I do just so extreme, and there's no stopping me at all when I'm coming to defeat you. Now I'm licking my chops because it's so nice to eat ya.
On distant hilltops, crackling bonfires, surrounded by shrieking covens, and cackling witches burn their sacrifices to dark gods and hellfire ovens. This reality, this pale ephemera lying upon the sky of the universe has worn thin, and now the pulsing evil dark in the shadows lies twitching and tremoring deep within. And now the stars have aligned, and fate's chosen avatar for your recompense will arise, to rip you limb from limb for all past misdeeds and lies.
And you fled to the suburbs, and you're quivering inside your McMansion, and you're clutching all your trinkets and your objet jar, and what you thought were all of your best intentions. So what you expect, cause all the wealth that you kept, it made all of your neighbors go hungry. We see you full of yourself, and now the time has come for you to pay the piper's fee. There's no stopping me. I'm creeping room to steal your breath. Walls are flimsy things, and we're coming now to redistribute all that's left. Because I'm hungry, and when I eat you, it'll be with a Chianti and a side of beans. There's no stopping me. Haha, I'm the Hallow Fiend.
Hey, chat. Can you guys can you hear me? Can you hear me right now? I've unmuted myself, so I don't know if you guys can hear me. Blink twice if you can hear me. Okay, cool. I've got nothing. Stevie's like, hey, I'm gonna go make a drink because Stevie's a slacker who obviously doesn't have a lick of professionalism when it comes to this podcast. He has abandoned us in favor of going and making himself a beverage. Whenever I, like the responsible podcast host that I am eating candy because it's Halloween. Although, in the interest of full disclosure, this candy is from Christmas, so it's a few months old. It's a banana caramel Kit Kat. Eating on mic is the worst thing to do. Like, people with misophonia hate it to hear people eating on mic. On the other hand, this could be like a mukbang thing. Where like maybe you enjoy it? I don't know. I'm not going to yuck your yum. There are also other things that we can do with the camera turned off and you guys just viewing the bone rattling screen. And that's this. Play with our lighter. Should have muted my mic. I'm no longer cool for that. A little bit of a behind the curtain peek. When Stevie and I record the podcast, we're not live streaming. So, you know, we don't have to like watch ourselves and what we do as much. So, we are not role models. I'm not suggesting anyone out there act as we do. We are constantly imbibing as we record. So doing a live stream is kind of a different experience because I'm having to focus, I guess, in a way I don't usually have to. Oh yeah, all this, by the way, none of this is going to be on the podcast. I'm editing all of this out. Also, I'm looking at the chat right now, wondering if I can actually... No, I want to... you're going to do that to me. I was going to see if I could actually talk in the chat like I used to be able to, but it's not letting me. Do I have to be subscribed to Stevie again? That's annoying. Stevie, you changed your format or something.
No, I didn't.
Then what is this? Why can I not...
Are you
It's asking me to subscribe to you. I'm logged in.
It's not set to subscribers only, so I don't know why it's doing that.
Ah, no, I see what it is. It for some reason had not logged me in as myself yet. My bad, I'm stupid.
Oh, like I would ever bar people who aren't subscribed from chatting. What was the exclusive content? What were you talking about? Were you
things
whispering
you'll
to
never
them? Were you doing ASMR?
Steve, I was doing mukbang, but also Stevie, you will never know what we were talking about.
Damn it! Damn it! I saw secret content in the chat and I was like, man, I'm so jealous. I'm so sad that I will never get to hear it ever. Oh, your camera's still off. Oh, I see, because you were doing illicit activities.
No, never. What, Stevie?
What? I've been really brave, and I'm pretty much out of bud right now because I'm trying to cut back, because I'm trying to be more financially stable, and it's an expensive hobby, which is tragic. So I'm being really brave about it, by the way. All to say, I am jealous also. Ooh, Sweet William redeemed Hydrate Zone, which, Micah, in case you're not familiar, that means you have to take a sip of water. Earlier, somebody else redeemed it, and I forgot to say it to you, but I drank water about it. So you need to also do that.
I don't have water.
Okay, well, whatever fucking drink you have nearby, which you should also have water, by the way, but no one listens to Stevie.
I have barley tea, which is basically water.
Ooh. Oh, I think I'm quiet because I turned the music up. Oh, slightly off-key pitch pipe. Also redeemed posture check, which means if you have a bit of gamer neck going right now, you gotta take care of it. Oh my goodness, thank you for following Allison Punkas. Also, guys, look how cute that alert is. I'm really happy that we've got an activity going on this stream just because of how proud I am of that alert. I just saw that Aries said that you just put on your satyr legs. That sounds cool as shit. You should absolutely put a picture of it in the media channel on the Discord server because I would really like to see it. Also, new people in chat, join the Discord server if you're not already there. We actually do have a channel for the podcast if you ever want to give us suggestions for topics to talk about. Do you want to keep...
The activity I was engaging in, which was totally not the adult kind,
yeah.
Has made me cough a bit.
I'm sorry. Wouldn't it help if you had a nice drink of water next to you? I bet it would.
No, but the barley tea, on the other hand.
That doesn't sound appealing to me. We've had this conversation before, but that doesn't sound very good to me. Does it taste like anything in particular?
Yeah, it tastes like toasted barley.
I don't know what barley tastes like at all, so I don't really know what I expected.
Have you ever had Smacks?
What? What is that?
The cereal, Smacks.
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
Their mascot's a frog.
Oh, I definitely recognize what you're talking about. Also, we're back on camera, so they can't see anything right now, but that's okay. Oh, do you have a camera cover that you do, or is it just like a sticky note?
I have a camera cover I can flip down.
Nice. Honey Smacks, these. Oh, these are actually, I'm not gonna lie, delicious. I actually do quite like these. Unfortunately, I'm at a stage in my life where I do like kind of, not plain cereal, but stuff like, Honey Bunches of Oats with almonds. Love it. I love like oat clusters in my cereal and shit like that. These I do think are delish. I like honey flavored cereal in general. Barley tea.
Barley tea tastes like that without the honey, without the sweetness.
Then that sounds bad. Although I just remembered you can add honey to tea, which is huge.
Traditionally, you don't drink honey in barley tea, I don't think.
Oh, what? Like you can stop me? Okay. Somebody in the chat said, slightly off-key pitch pipe in chat said barley tea low-key tastes like chocolate to me. Do you agree with that, Micah, or do you think that's an insane assessment? It sounds insane to me.
I could see where they're coming from.
Okay. But it's not sweet? I don't get it. I don't get it, but that's okay. Micah, you, earlier whenever you were talking about what you wanted your segment to be, I misread it as Atticus the Spider. And I thought we were going to talk about a fun character, perhaps a show, or a Halloween short. Is that the case?
No.
Okay.
We're going to talk about a monster.
Ooh, I'm sorry, I couldn't find the drops, so I do apologize for that. So, unfortunately, I have to go, it's the Monster Zone. Monster Zone. Which was pretty good, you must admit. So, this is a critter?
This is a critter. They're also known as huntsman spiders.
Oh, no.
If you want to look up an image search for that, just bring it up for the chat so they could take a gander.
Hey, arachnophobia warning. Spider. Hi, Pooter. You want to come up?
Anyway, they're also called the giant crab
spiders. Ooh!
Because they're very large.
Oh, fuck no.
They like to hang out in woody places like forests, mine shafts, wood piles, wooden shacks. They're known as rain spiders or lizard-eating spiders in South Africa.
They eat what? What?
Meaning they eat an animal that you normally would think not of getting eaten by a spider.
I usually think of lizards as being the ones to eat the bugs, personally.
So, you're probably asking yourself, or rather you're asking me, Micah, it's a spider.
Yeah.
How bad could it be? It's not going to get that, like, tarantula.
I'm not fucking saying that. Look how goddamn big this thing is. Are you shitting my dick? No, that can't be real. That can't be real. That's as big as, that's bigger than a fire alarm.
It has a leg span that you will be happy to know. Each of its legs are only like 5.9 inches on average. Each leg. And it's got legs on either side, plus a body in the middle that's like another inch. So if you measure from like leg tip to leg tip, there's usually about 9.8 to 11.8 inches, which for those of you who aren't imperialists from America and actually use the measurements the rest of the world uses, that's 25 to 30 centimeters.
No. 25 to 30.
What else is that size?
Someone's dick, maybe?
John Holmes's dick.
Whose dick?
He was a famous porn star. Look him up.
Oh. Okay, well, I'm not going to do that on stream because I don't know what's going to show up.
Yeah, don't do that on stream. No.
I do like that dick was the comparison you thought of as well, because that was the first thing that came to me. That sucks so bad. Man, that's as big as some guy's wiener. That's an impressive wiener, and that's an impressive spider.
Can you imagine if you're gonna have intimate times with somebody and they started pulling down their pants, but instead of a wiener, it was an impressive spider?
No fucking way. No fucking way. In the chat.
Also, I'm getting this from Wikipedia, and the next Wikipedia sentence that I'm seeing here is it's commonly confused for a brown recluse spider, which those things are smaller than a penny. No, it's not.
No, the fuck it's not. Hey, who's confused? Maybe they just mean in pictures where you can't see the scale. Sorry, hold on. I don't think I was thinking of the right size. Jesus, that's almost 12 inches.
Yes.
Oh.
It's almost a foot long.
I don't know why I was thinking.
You could get a full Subway sandwich, the foot long whatever, and put it down next to the spider, and they would be of similar length.
I totally misheard the number of centimeters, and I was thinking 6 inches, and I was thinking that's a solid sized hog, and that's a massive spider. To hear 11.8 inches, that's utterly frightening. That's utterly frightening. My God, I hate that. Hi, Poot. Jasper is sitting on his tower and looking down at me, and he's got an attitude right now, so sorry if you hear him in the background.
So those of our listeners who aren't in chat and are listening to this after the fact as a podcast, you may be asking yourself, how can I recognize these 12-inch diameter arachnids in the... Sure that this is the giant spider I'm seeing and not some alien invasion that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
And there are ways to tell it apart from the average alien invasion. And one of those is the fact that their upper surfaces, its main colors, are inconspicuous shades of brown or gray.
Oh, it's recognizable for not being recognizable. Are you stupid? Are you fucking dumb? That makes me so mad. They're inconspicuous. No, they aren't. No, they aren't. They're as big as a plate.
But hey, their legs bear fairly prominent spines. So, the giant thing has spines it can threaten you with.
No. Sorry, guys. I have to get that off the stream right now. If anyone in the chat wants me to go back to it periodically, let me know, but I'm not going to do it willingly.
The rest of their bodies are smoothly furry. So, which means, technically, you can have a huntsman spider as your fursona.
Oh, I mean, people have bug fursonas all the time. They just go by, like, a slightly different term. Although I think that the general term is still fursona, kind of as an umbrella term. Barb said, I feel like you can recognize the big-ass spider by saying, damn, that's a big-ass spider. Sweet Williams in chat said, face huggers vibes. Sorry, no thanks. Which, yeah, actually, you're right. I don't like that at all.
I should mention that on the bright side, these spiders, they do have venom.
That's the bright side?
They are venomous. So whenever they bite you, it does have systemic neurotoxin effects, including unpredictable infections, dry bites, shock, nocebo effects. It can cause pain, nausea, headache, vomiting, irregular pulse, heart palpitations.
Pause. We just got a raid from another streamer. Oh my god, hi, Sarah. It's been such a long time. We just got 14 extra viewers. Oh my goodness. Hello, Sarah. Thank you so much for showing up. Oh my god. Oh my god. Thank you so much for being here. I don't know if you've ever encountered my sibling, Micah, but we were learning about the scariest spider in the world. Arachnophobia warning. Big ass spider. It's called an Atticus spider. It's big and it's bad and it sucks really bad and it's 11.8 inches. I just wanted to get you all caught up because that's the nasty shit we're learning about right now. And we just learned that it's venomous and it makes you, neurotoxins, and that was the bright side. That was on the bright side.
The bright side.
Oh, fuck.
Because the not so bright side is it's not always clear what provokes these spiders to attack and bite humans and animals.
Oh, that's awesome. So you don't even know what it is you're doing that's going to make them attack you. That's fun.
Like, it's known that, like, the lady spiders might have egg sacs and be like, I must protect my young. So that could be part of that.
That's sensible.
But no, actually, I'm kidding. Like those weren't actually bright sides, obviously.
Yeah.
Those are very bad things. There is a bright side. The bites, you don't usually have to go to the hospital for them.
Really? Even though they have venom?
Usually. Which means there are cases where some really unlucky guy or gal or non-binary pal.
That's so progressive of you.
Comes across a bug the size of a dinner plate that decides to get angry for no known reason.
Damn.
Chases this person down and bites them, and that person thinks, oh, okay, that was probably the worst thing to happen. Nope. Now you're in the hospital for the aforementioned neurotoxin effects.
And now you have a hospital bill. Like life can't get any fucking harder right now. That's such a nightmare.
Oh, no, actually, no, I believe they live in Australia and South Africa, so they have, if I remember correctly, they have universal health care.
Okay, so at least there's that.
So at least, you know, if you're there, you can take advantage of some fairly decent and not too expensively priced healthcare.
Yeah. Yeah, theoretically. Hey, are they fast? Sweet Williams in the chat just said, I forgot they're fast.
Hey,
they're
Jasper,
so fast.
Please be quiet.
They are incredibly fast. I've seen videos of these things.
Well, I'm not going to show that on stream. I'm just going to let you know now. Give me an estimation and compare it to something else.
I'll tell you exactly what it is. I was watching one video in particular.
Oh, God.
Where the spider moved. And it was literally, I blinked and it was off the screen.
No. That's cartoonishly bad. Okay, I lied. I do want to look up a picture or a video. Do I?
So these spiders, they're kind of like the Flash, which means there is a non-zero possibility that these spiders can actually move at the speed of light and travel through time and bite you before they came to bite you.
That's really horrifying. Okay, I decided not to click on any of those videos. Sorry, I'm gonna go ward off my cat real quick because he's fussy, and this is gonna make bad podcast if I don't ward him.
You're killing me, Stevie. You're killing me.
If you find that video that you were watching of it, where you like blinked and it disappeared, you have piqued my interest, unfortunately. The spiders have unlocked fast travel, Hubby Schmoke says. Fucking fast travel.
Oh, here's one video of one in Japan. So I guess Japan is now on the list of places I will never go.
Ah, that sucks for them.
Giant spiders.
Yeah, that blows.
Of course, it makes sense. They do have Godzilla attacks. So it makes sense that they're also going to have giant spider attacks, like kaiju.
It makes sense.
This is a spider kaiju.
You know, second time I'm saying that on the stream. Yeah, I'll incorporate that into my belief system. Allison Punka said, I love seeing how excited they get sharing nightmare facts. You do love sharing a nightmare fact. That is something about you.
Okay, I'm not finding the video. There's a lot of videos of people like talking about them.
Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it.
Scary and yada yada. I can't find it. Oh well.
That's crazy. No though. That sounds awful.
But getting back to facts about these spiders.
Yeah, hit me.
Do you want to know how they fuck?
You know, it did not even occur to me to ask, but now that you've mentioned it, I am dying to know.
So apparently, the males of the huntsman spider have recently been found to deliberately make a substrate-borne sound when they detect a chemical pheromone left by a nearby female of their species.
What's a chemical substrate sound?
They're saying the spider makes a noise you can hear.
Oh, no. Oh, no. You know, it didn't even occur to me that spiders don't normally make noise. Oh, no. So not only is the spider in my house, if I can hear the spider in my house, it's horny.
Yeah.
Oh, no. No, that sucks. I hate it really bad.
So what happens is the males will anchor themselves firmly to the surface onto which they have crawled, and then they use their legs to transmit vibrations from their bodies to the surface, which means they're actually like shaking your floor or whatever, or shaking your walls, or shaking your ceiling.
And they're huge. They're huge. Don't forget that they're a foot long. They're huge, and it makes a sound, and it can vibrate against my walls and my floors and my ceiling.
Most of the sound is emitted it's produced by strong vibrations in the abdomen. The characteristic frequency of the vibration and pattern of bursts of sounds identify them to the ladies of their species, who will approach if they are interested in mating.
So not only are they keeping me up at night, they're attracting a second foot-long spider into my house.
Not just attracting a separate foot-long spider into your house.
Oh no.
And possibly not even one.
Oh.
It could be attracting multiple if this is a particularly like hot guy spider.
This spider decides he's gonna run a fucking train inside my goddamn condo. No. It's Jover. No. I'm moving out. Sorry.
This is the sexiest fucking spider you've had that's rattling itself against your ceiling, and all the other spiders in the neighborhood were like, you know what?
I'm rock hard for this guy.
I want a piece of that.
Yeah.
My spider basement is flooded.
That's not good. Stupid.
My cloaca.
It's quaking.
The sound can often be heard as a rhythmic ticking, kind of like a quartz clock, that fades in and out and can only be heard by human ears in a relatively quiet environment.
Okay.
Which means if you have the TV on, there's a good chance you won't even hear it. You'll just suddenly be inundated with other horny, good-to-go spiders.
I'm pretty much always playing something at my house or like with my earbuds in with music on, so I really have no chance of defending myself against Atticus the spider.
You're just going to suddenly look up from your book or look up from playing your Switch and realize there is a spider orgy.
That's gnarly. That's nasty. Hubby Schmokes in the chat said, "Hey baby, look how hot I am." Violently flails against the wall. Ah, that's really horrid. That's a fun animal fact.
So the spiders, you're probably wondering a little bit more about them. Like, does this spider make giant spider webs? Do I have to worry about that?
Do I?
The answer, Stevie, is no.
Okay, what do they live in? Like trees and my walls and stuff?
Because they're so fucking big and they can just grab birds out of the air and eat them.
Oh,
they
no.
have no needs for webs.
Oh no, they're such efficient hunters that they have no reason to even make a web. They don't need a trap.
They have evolved beyond the need for a web.
They can eat birds and they can eat lizards and shit. Jesus Christ, I'm so glad I don't live in Australia.
But hold on, Stevie. I am actually about to make this so much scarier for you.
Oh, God damn it. How could it get worse?
Very simply. They are native to tropical and warm temperate regions worldwide.
The world's getting hotter. The world's getting hotter. The world's getting hotter. They're gonna spread. The world's getting hotter.
Not just that. We live in Florida.
The hottest!
Which is a warm, tropical, we are considered tropical region that exists in the United States. And there are other invasive species here, such as the tons of
iguanas,
Burmese pythons, and anacondas and boa constrictors that have been released into the Everglades and devoured much of the wildlife that existed there. And we have iguanas in South Florida.
We need to
Who's
tighten.
to say that somebody would not decide to bring a whole bunch of these spiders over as a pet, and then it gets loose into the wild and starts feeding on all of the iguanas that somebody else left?
We need to start tightening TSA restrictions now. We need to make sure that no one is smuggling spiders in, and we need to make sure that no spiders are stacked up in a fucking trench coat. This is not good. They don't come in on planes. They come in on ships and stuff. Oh fuck. Oh.
No, this is the official stance of this podcast. We should build the wall, but only to specifically stop the giant spiders.
You can literally let everybody else in. We just gotta keep out the spiders. That's kind of top priority right now. Ow. Hey, someone in the chat said a really unpleasant way that spiders eat. Can you confirm that this is how these spiders eat, or do they have teeth and stuff also? Because they said they inject a juice into their prey that liquefies them, like their insides, and suck them out, which sounds pretty rotten to me personally.
Well, hold on. I gotta read this little part real quick. They live in the crevices of tree bark, will frequently wander into homes and vehicles. They are able to travel extremely quickly, often using a springing jump while running, walking on walls and on ceilings.
Oh, they are gonna climb the wall that we build.
They also tend to exhibit a cling reflex if picked up.
No!
Meaning, if you accidentally pick one up or like touch it in some way, it will cling to you.
No. So it's hard to get off.
Yes, it's harder to get off and get rid of, and you're shaking around trying to get rid of it. It's just going to anger it. So what's the next thing it's going to do? It's going to bite you with the neurotoxins.
This is wildly unpleasant. This is wildly, deeply unpleasant.
Ooh, I just found a picture of their egg sac.
Oh, that's
It
so...
looks like it's about the size of a grapefruit.
Oh, that's so awesome, Micah. That's so cool. That's great. That sucks so fucking bad, dog. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm gonna throw up. No way.
I believe that these also, like, inject their prey, liquefy the insides, and slurp it out.
That's no good. I think that's vile, and I think that's foul, and I think that's no good at all, actually. I think that we maybe could have put these in... I don't know. I feel like we could have just workshopped them a little better, personally. You know what I'm saying?
So, yeah, this is one of the rare times in the Monster Zone where we talk about an actual real monster. A thing that exists. And there is a non-zero chance of it coming to live near me soon.
The world is so much darker and more horrible than we could ever truly hope to understand.
And the best part is if they ever do come to Florida, it'll probably be because of somebody who's wealthy who just wanted to buy like a house on the beach or something, and then they're going to build their McMansion on the beach, and it's going to get blown away and release their spider collection into the wild, and that's how we're going to get them.
This eccentric billionaire filled his beach McMansion with as many Atticus spiders as possible. And then when the local teens who were trick-or-treating blew it up with pipe bombs, all of them got out and destroyed Panama City Beach.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
Drops a foot-long spider in your bag. Oh, that's foul. Huh. Do you have any more bad facts for me about this spider, or can I do something like pleasant and fun?
No, that was pretty much all I had about the spider.
thank God.
I just want to talk specifically about the giant spider that does exist, is venomous, can harm you, and likes to get horny really quietly, and you don't notice until all of a sudden you're drowning in spiders that like to automatically cling to you should you accidentally touch them. So as you're flailing to get away from this giant orgy of spiders that has appeared, they're just latching onto you and biting you. All because some billionaire had a dream and a spider budget.
The concept of a deadly spider budget is really, really good. That was awful, Micah. Those were really, really good spider facts. That was awesome. I don't think I could have conceived of something that horrible on my own, at least. Great. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
So what I would like to do next is go to Stevie's playground. Stevie's playground. And so you know what we're gonna do, Micah?
What are we going to do?
We are gonna play one of my favorite fucking games, which is Crime, Kiss, or Kill. It's like Fuck, Marry, Kill, but it's like more interesting. So I'm doing this with spooky characters. You are gonna see some creatures, some classic monsters, and also some copyrighted characters. Do you have any questions about the premise?
So are these spooky characters based on like just characters you find spooky?
No.
So are there potentially just characters that aren't even necessarily from horror, just maybe from a different genre of movie that you saw them and you were immediately like, oh my God, that's horrifying.
No.
Like the opening scene of the redone Justice League movie where they had to like, no, it wasn't the redone. It was the theatrical version where they digitally removed the mustache that Henry Cavill had grown for a different role.
Yep, I
because
forgot
it was
about
done
that.
filming, they had to bring it back for reshoots, and they're like, well, we could have an awesome Freddie Mercury-esque looking Superman.
But they couldn't really go through with it. They just didn't really have the guts to do it.
They didn't have the fortitude.
Sad.
The world was not ready for a Freddie Mercury Superman.
Man, the amount of porn they would have started making about that is crazy, as if there's not already enough. I digress. So to answer your question, no. These are all from movies that people would watch around Halloween time. You'll get the vibe, I think, as we proceed. Some of these are horror, some of these are like Universal monsters. If you want me to look up any of them just for reference, let me know, but I believe you'll be familiar with all of these. So for the listeners who aren't aware of crime, kiss, or kill, you are going to pick out of the 3 options given who you want to do a crime with, who you want to give a little smooch to, and who you're going to outright murder. So your options for this first round are Freddy Krueger, Chucky, and Frankenstein's monster. Freddy Krueger, Chucky, Frankenstein's monster.
I'd like to clarify. You said Frankenstein's monster. Do you mean the monster of
Shut
the
up.
story Frankenstein?
No, because then you're going to say it's the doctor. I'm saying the one who got zapped by lightning and brought to life.
I don't think it's fair to characterize him as a monster. In the original version of Frankenstein that Mary Shelley wrote,
I will
he
mute
was
you.
Described as being super
So
sexy
hot. They said he was
yellow
hot
eyes.
as fuck, bitch. They said he was sexy. Oh my god. Which I'm obsessed with. So, what, you gonna fuck him? Because that's who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the sexy fucker.
I'm just saying that, like, arguably the first horror story had a similar vibe to Twilight.
Yeah, actually, that's a pretty astute way to put it.
So you could argue that Twilight is actually returning to the roots of gothic horror and is therefore the gothest piece of art to come out since Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Gothist is, but goth, sure. Why not?
No, it's literally, it's gothic horror.
No, I agree. I'm not saying, oh, I thought you said gothist, like the most goth thing ever, which, no. Gothic, yes, yeah, totally.
No, but I'm saying it is the gothist because Mary Shelley's Frankenstein kind of had a large influence over goth culture and whatnot.
Why would the derivative of the gothist novel suddenly supersede it? Anyway, I
said sense, not more than. I said sense.
Okay. That's better. I still don't agree, but that makes more sense. So
You don't agree that Mary Shelley's Frankenstein came out, then there was a ton of years when obviously it was all dreck, it was horrible, it got too self-serious, they did away with the monsters that people really wanted to fuck, and then Stephanie Meyer, hero that she is, came forward and said, I have a wet dream.
Mormon hero that she is. Get it, girl.
I want a granite statue that is cold to the touch, and I want to make it to where the reader of my stories will want to fuck that statue.
Hey, have you've seen Twilight?
No, I have not. I just know all about it because I've seen so much shit talking about Twilight.
Okay.
To the point where, like, I have, like, osmosed a lot of the
that's not a verb.
A lot of the details, a lot of the everything about it.
Okay, I get what you're saying. So all of that to say, are you gonna kiss Frankenstein's monster or Freddy Krueger or Chucky, the doll?
Obviously, I'm going to tongue kiss Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, totally. So who you're gonna kill and who you're gonna do a crime with? Who do you think will be better at crime?
Obviously, I'm going to kill Freddy Krueger because he's canonically
a sex pest. Yeah, he's like a nasty fucker. Also, Chucky would be so good at crimes. Holy shit.
Does crimes arguably does a lot of crimes. He does murder. Murder's like the big crime.
That's about as crimey as you could get.
He's very good at that.
He's excellent at it, honestly. You picked the exact sequence that I would have picked. I think you are spot on with that assessment. Hubby Schmokes asked, do you think Dr. Frankenstein looked for the best tongue to put inside the monster? I know he at least tried for the best dick.
Oh, no. It was specified in the story that he was picking, like, the primo parts.
Like, the best of everything? That's crazy.
Yeah, because the doctor wanted to make a being more beautiful than something that could be created by God. The doctor was trying to usurp God and God's ability to make something gorgeous.
And the thing is that, like, that being created and then still rejected, I think is so much more poignant than making, like, I don't know, they just act like he's like a nasty looking zombie when that's not even fair. So I'm comfortable with the assessments we've come up with so far. So round 2, the Invisible Man, the Mummy, or a harpy, half bird, half woman of Greek mythology fame. Also, chat, I want you guys to tell me what your opinions are. The chat runs a little bit behind us, so I would like to see what you say in comparison to what Micah says.
So obviously, with the Invisible Man, gotta die.
Why? I don't really know a lot about him, but he was on a list of scary characters.
Well, actually, like many Spider-Man villains, the Invisible Man, story is he was a scientist, took a bunch of chemicals to make himself go invisible, went kind of crazy, realized that, oh, if I'm invisible, I can do whatever I want.
Oh, that's not good. He becomes a bad person immediately, doesn't he?
And he does a lot of things that he assaults some people. Like,
oh my god. What is up with these horror characters and doing bad things?
It's like home invasion and beats the crap out of people and murders some people and all that.
Oh,
and really,
so
you could say he might be good for the crimes, but I would argue that the curse of a mummy, which can take out the guards or whoever at the bank you're trying to rob very, cleanly, and can't really be traced back to you, because no hard-boiled noir detective is going to be like, oh, it's the mummy's curse.
They're never going to suspect the mummy's curse. No one suspects.
They are men of science. They have microscopes and computers and electronica crystal method music montages where the actors from CSI come on and say, we found a microfiber that shows distinctly that none of that with a mummy's curse.
Microfibers in a mummy's curse.
Mummy's
undetectable.
Curse, totally clean. You want the mummy when you do crimes.
That is such a good point. I wouldn't have even thought about the mummy's curse, and that's why I have you on the podcast. You just have the best ideas. I think that's great. So Invisible Man, killing, mummy, crimes. So you're going to smooch a little harpy, a little half bird, half woman, going to give her a little smooch?
Yes, because I support women.
That's so brave of you. Also, Hubby Schmoke said, I think you're giving the cops too much credit there, bud. I promise Micah's not the one you need to worry about when it comes to giving cops credit. Round 3. The Wolfman. The Scarecrow. Or Slender Man. Wolfman. Scarecrow. Slender Man. You know Slender Man. You're on the internet.
You said the Scarecrow?
Yeah, I need to double check.
As in the Batman villain?
No, because I was thinking, isn't there like that horror movie with like the Scarecrow that's alive? Yeah, it's like from the 80s, right? Because that's the one that came up on the picture, I think. Yeah, that was it. Hold on.
What?
Oh, there was also one in 2023, apparently.
I'm seeing a lot of fan art here.
I'm Googling. Hold on. Scarecrow horror movie 1988. There we go. Okay, so this is called Scarecrows, but the guy is really spooky if you want to look.
Okay, no, that is a very spooky looking feller.
Yeah. So we'll say that's who we're working with. So this specific Scarecrow, the Wolfman, or Slender Man. And I'm going to look up the Wolfman character for reference for the chat. There's been a lot of Wolfman movies. So 1941 Wolfman, they didn't have the greatest prosthetics, but...
However, the remake that they more recently did, and I believe the late aughts, had Benicio del Toro.
Oh, hold on, I'm going to look that up. 2010.
Who's hot? Is a very hot actor, in my opinion.
I'll say the Wolfman's hot. I'll kiss him, damn. Don't have to ask me twice.
Obviously, we gotta make out with the Wolfman.
Yeah, duh.
Scarecrow, honestly, I'm looking at that. What even is that? I don't care. Killing the Scarecrow, don't care.
I can do crimes with Slender Man?
Yes, because once again, Slender Man gets you in a supernatural way that cannot be traced back to anyone in particular, really. There is a complete lack of forensic evidence.
Yeah.
But if they find you, you're just mangled and turned into like the things of body horror.
That's a really good point. Collect
And when
my
you get down
pages.
to it, if this is a universe where Slender Man exists, there are probably many other things that will leave you equally mangled. It could be the demon from It Follows.
This world is so full of manglers.
It could be some, like, Lovecraftian, Cyclopean, extra-dimensional horror, fifth-dimensional being.
Yeah.
Creeping its way into our reality and making you go crazy, and then you turn inside out. It could be a Junji Ito manga
Ooh.
about how scary spirals are.
That is a Junji Ito monster, I think, is the worst possible result.
So in that universe, again, you want Slender Man because they won't be sure which of these horrible things is doing it. And odds are good they're not gonna. The cops don't put themselves in danger. There was recently a court case where the court was like, yeah, cops don't have to, like, actually help you.
Yeah.
If they worry that it's gonna hurt them, they can stand by and let you die. That's fine. They're not actually there for public protection.
Yeah.
Do you think they're gonna go after a possible Junji Ito situation?
They're not gonna go after the Slender Man. No, they're not. Oh, Aries said, is this gonna...
The Donut Rama.
In the chat, Aries said, is this gonna turn into Stevie and the Monster Fuckers now? Stevie and Micah and the Monster Fuckers. Which, for today, yeah, actually, it is. Yeah. Okay, so you wanted to make out with the Wolfman, right?
Hell yeah.
Okay, make out with the Wolfman, kill the Scarecrow because who give a shit, and then do a lot of crimes with Slenderman. What would your ideal crime with the Slenderman be? What do you think he'd be best at? I think bank vault shit. I think he could get you in and out speedy. No, don't say something that will get us put on a list.
Okay, I'm gonna put in the drop of the Star Spangled Banner here.
For the new listeners, that's what we do when we say something that Micah would have to censor legally. We get real patriotic. And that's it.
I think the Slender Man would be fantastic at patriotic activities, Stevie. Like baking apple pie.
Can't argue with that. Next round. Swamp Monster. Zombie. Or the Corpse Bride. Swamp Monster. Zombie. Corpse Bride. And for reference, because I googled it, the Corpse Bride is a legal adult. Because I know... I know how the chat gets. What are you thinking, Micah? You have a pensive look on your face.
You said swamp monster. What swamp monster? Is there a specific one
I'm
you're
thinking
of?
Yes.
Or are you thinking of Swamp Thing from Vertigo Comics, later DC Comics fame?
I am thinking
frequently written by Alan Moore.
Oh, my apologies. I was thinking of the Swamp Thing.
Okay, automatically, we're fucking Swamp Thing.
Elaborate.
Vines.
Oh, that's such a good point, bitch.
Whatever you're into.
Yeah.
Swamp Thing can probably do it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because
Ooh.
I am not, for the record, I am not going to fuck a zombie or the Corpse Bride. That's necrophilia.
Yeah, I feel like that would get
that.
really complicated. Like, I know that the Corpse Bride is, like, technically alive, but it's like, I just think it get kind of nasty. Why is this Swamp Thing that DC has kind of sexy a little?
He's always been sexy.
Oh my god. Have fun at your Halloween dance, Aries. Stay safe. Don't drive drunk or anything. Yeah, no, he's sexy. I'd totally get it on. Yeah, I like this guy. Okay, so making out with the swamp thing.
Yes. Making out with Swamp Thing. Zombie, we'll just kill it.
Yeah. Ooh,
It's not intelligent. It wouldn't be all that good at, like, helping with crime and that kind of
very
thing.
useless.
Take out the zombie.
Huge liability. Because their desire is to fucking bite and turn you. Huge liability. Way more trouble than it's worth.
But the Corpse Bride,
She's gonna be bad at crime, Micah.
she's going to be great at crime for one simple reason.
What?
Before you commit the crime, shove her into the middle of the crowd and loudly shout, "Hey everyone, It's the Corpse Bride of Tim Burton's The Corpse Bride fame. That very famous character.
People don't care about cosplayers.
Everyone's going to be like, oh shit, I know. Yeah, I want a picture with her. And so they're all going to crowd. The crowd's attention is going to be on the Corpse Bride. And then at that point, you can just walk into the vault.
Because they'll have opened the vault already for you.
Yeah, because the guy that's inside the, I don't know if you know this, they keep a guy in the vault as like the last line of defense. He'll open the vault to come out.
Oh, to meet the Corpse Bride.
Get a picture with the Corpse Bride too, obviously.
Such a good point.
So you just walk into the vault, you take the ones that don't have the die packs, or you do. That might be how you party. I'm not gonna judge.
Right.
And you just run off with the money because again, it's completely insured. The bank is gonna get that money back from the government, so they don't have to worry about it.
No harm, no foul.
It's basically a victimless crime.
I do agree though, because I think that people would get like really crazy around the Corpse Bride, like in terms of like just like surrounding her. And I don't want to put a woman in that position because I support women. Unlike you, because you're going to use her as a distraction for your crime. Also, it's not like people are going to think she's the real Corpse Bride because they won't believe in that. They will literally think that's a cosplayer and not care. Mark my fucking words.
Stevie.
However,
I am pretty sure that if I was walking around with a being that, for this bit, we have established looks exactly like the Corpse Bride of Tim Burton's The Corpse Bride fame.
She's got the bone hands.
I am walking around with a giant, freely moving, stop motion thing.
Oh, that's such a good point. That's such a good point. We've transplanted her from her universe with her rules into ours while she maintains the same rules. Okay, now I see what you're saying. I think that it would be...
That's incredibly distracting.
That's very disarming. That's very disarming. I don't think that people...
You've gone from a realm of like, you know and kind of understand the basic rules of the reality that you live in, when all of a sudden this like mind-snapping horror with pouty lips,
big eyes, big eyes,
huge
Helena
eyes.
Bonham Carter's sultry voice. Ooh, Hubby Schmokes in the chat just pointed out that in the movie, she could detach her hand, and it can move independently of her. That is also good for crime. I've come back around.
I would argue it. I would argue not necessarily, because again, it would be a stop motion hand moving around.
Like still
and if
moves.
anybody happened to catch a glimpse of it, they're gonna keep watching it. Because again, you have this reality-defying thing
Catch your attention.
that should not exist in your world.
I see what you're saying. I think that if you are able to keep her discreet, like keep the hand discreet, then you might stand a chance that it could be useful. But if it gets noticed once, you're done. And that's a pretty high risk to take, I'll admit. Well, I agree overall with your choices, I think. It was Kill Zombie, Smooch, Swamp Guy? Was that what it was?
Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing, and
Thing, yes.
Do Crime with Corpse Bride. Okay, I like that. So next up, we're working with the Headless Horseman, Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas, and Nosferatu, the guy from the OG film, the 20s. Headless Horseman, Oogie Boogie, Nosferatu.
I do want to point out that with one of these characters in particular, I do take a bit of offense to, because that character could be construed as a kind of racist in such a way that like the original
Oogie Boogie?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, I hadn't considered that. That's a good point.
So in the interest of being like, I want no part of it, I'm killing Oogie Boogie right off.
Okay. Hey, that's a fair point, and thank you for pointing that out. That's a good point. And then Headless
Horseman, I'm going to make out with the Headless Horseman.
No head, how?
Stevie, when you make out with somebody, you don't just have to kiss like their face and head and stuff. You can, there's Have you not seen
Okay,
the documentary The Addams Family and Addams Family Values from the 90s, in which Gomez Addams smooches up Morticia's arm?
That's such a good point. Also, my God, what a good movie. Hey, gang, if you haven't seen that, please go watch it. Holy shit. Okay, so I didn't expect that you would say, well, I don't know if I expected you to say Kiss Nosferatu, honestly. So, yeah, Headless Horseman seems kind of buff, though, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Underneath that outfit, he's like a triangle-shaped, like, Bruce Timm Batman linebacker of a fellow.
He's not dead, though? You're not going to raise the same issues with him as you did with the Corpse Bride and Zombie? You think he has flesh and blood running through his veins? No, he doesn't have the flesh in his veins, to clarify. Do you think he has blood pumping and a heart that works?
He has a ghost. He is a ghost.
Oh.
Which means, if anything, it's ectoplasm rules.
Oh. Okay.
So that's a different thing than banging a corpse.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay. How do you think Nosferatu would be at crime? Because he's left with crime.
Fantastic at crime.
Make your
Very
case. Sneaky. Can turn
Have you
into
not
a
seen
bat.
the silent film Nosferatu?
Not since 6th grade theater class, but can't he do hypnotism?
Yeah.
Easy.
And can crawl up walls and can transform into like a bat or a rat or whatever.
Bat or a rat?
Can blend into the shadows and all this fun jazz.
Oh, he would be pretty good at it, actually.
Plus, he's got one of those faces that if anybody saw him, they'd kind of look away real quick because you don't want to make eye contact with the guy in case he comes over and wants to have a conversation.
They want to kind of forget it quick.
Left with that like really uncomfortable, like I got to look at you and make eye contact as we speak to each other, but I kind of really don't want to.
The sharp teeth are very disarming.
More likely for people to look away and not pay attention as he does the crime.
Okay. I see what you're saying. You've made a pretty solid case across the board. Next up, we have Pennywise the Clown of It fame, Dracula from Dracula, and just a bog standard demon. Kind of take your pick of demons. Not like we haven't talked about 10 billion of them on Take You to Heck, but I'm thinking stereotypical horror movie demon. It's popping up and saying spooky things.
We've established there in that bit, Take You to Heck, there is no stereotypical demon.
That's a good point there. There's a very wide variety. I mean, I'll let you take your pick of demon, though.
It could be a guy riding a crocodile who, like,
Which is
will tell
badass.
you the truth if you stand inside of a triangle.
Fucking
or
rules.
it could be, like, some goat-headed thing with, like, a lion's body that breathes fire. Or it can be a stork flying by a tower.
They do have plenty. So you know what? This can be a wild card. I will let you pick your demon of choice here. I think that'll make it a pretty easy shoe-in for Kiss because there's a lot of hot demons out there.
Okay, so right off the bat, we are going to kill Dracula.
Bummer, but okay.
Because Dracula's got an ego, would get in the way of whatever crimes you try to commit. And honestly, I don't really vibe with Dracula.
The Bram Stoker Dracula movie, I am fucking obsessed with it. I watched it all the way back from my follow-up top surgery appointment where they took the drains out and stuff, and I was in a lot of pain and I was super miserable and high off my ass on oxys that they gave me, and I just watched Keanu Reeves do a sexy little thing over and over for the next 3 days.
So Pennywise the Clown?
Yeah.
There's only one Pennywise the Clown.
Yeah.
And that's as played by Tim Curry in the 1990s miniseries Stephen King's It.
I need to watch that one because I love Tim Curry and I've only seen the modern one. And the modern one was the first ever horror movie I ever saw when I was 19 years old. And I didn't look at any of the jump scares because I was watching it with people who've seen it before. And whenever a scary moment came up, they would go, "Oh no, I forgot this part." And I would hold up a little pillow and cover my face. And I thought the movie was fine. I thought it was pretty good. The original's better though.
The original one is great.
It was a miniseries?
It's also Tim Curry.
It's Tim Curry. It's Tim Curry.
So
That's
I'm
an
gonna make out
argument.
with Tim Curry clown. That's what I'm gonna do.
You said you're gonna what with it?
Make out with the Tim Curry clown.
You're gonna clown around with the clown.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hold
Which
on,
means
I'm gonna look him
I'm
up.
going to do crimes with the wild card demon.
I really, really thought that you would choose a sexy demon and kiss it, and then I thought that you would choose a sexy demon and kiss it, and then do crimes with Pennywise, because he can shapeshift into anything that you're scared of, and he will.
How do you know that's not my kink?
No, actually, that does make a lot of sense.
I
Sometimes,
want that which I fear the most to come and have intimate times with me.
sometimes being a little scared, yeah, it'll do it.
Ever heard of a fear boner? Obviously.
Yeah, totally. Sure. You know, Pennywise doesn't do that for me, and I think you're lying by saying that this is your choice here, but like, whatever. Hey, if you are sexually attracted to Tim Curry's Pennywise, please don't confirm that for me right now.
I am.
Wait, like on God, not as a bit?
Not even as a bit.
Huh. That is so fascinating. I'm not going to ask any follow-up questions.
So, the demon, the wild card, the whatever, again, it could end up being a stork. It could end up being a lady riding on the back of a camel that only speaks in riddles. So you have to like face northeast whenever you summon her. And after you've summoned her and got her to agree to whatever, she will only, etc., can tell you of the things past, future, and yet to come.
Yeah, specific rules.
Has 50 legions that she commands.
There's always a fucking legion.
Which again, if you're new here and you haven't heard the bit before, when we do take you to heck and we talk about demons, they always command like
a random ass number of legions. I don't know if we've ever learned about a demon who was like part of a legion. We just always hear about them leading a nebulous legion. Also, sidebar, the chat has pointed out that Pennywise in the books was like very, very bad and possibly a kid creep. So I'm gonna say for simplicity's sake that we just mean Tim Curry playing Pennywise. We'll simplify it down a little bit.
No, I mean Tim Curry the clown. That as Pennywise. That's...
No, I know, but we chat was referring to like the character of Pennywise specifically being objectionable, which is true. Hey guys, also I will say these are all from scary movies about bad creatures, so I am gonna also note that none of these guys are good guys. So
anyway, yeah, the demon doing crimes with the demon. Whatever demon I get, odds are good. If nothing else, I can use it as a distraction.
They'll have solid powers. I can see that being useful.
They don't always have solid powers. If you remember, some of them are pretty lame.
Some of them are kind of lame.
Yeah.
They're like, ooh, and I'm smart.
Some of them, like their special thing is like they'll teach you how to do math. And you're like, okay, I can see how that's useful. But why exactly are you a part of the armies of hell if you're just like tutoring kids to get a better SAT score?
And then you also have the ones that are like wildly, weirdly overpowered, where it's like, yeah, they can tell you of all things that have been and everything that ever will be, and they can grant any wish. You mean like God? You mean like God? That's insane. Okay, so we settled on, oh shit, it was crimes with demon, killing Dracula, smooching Pennywise as played by Tim Curry. Okay.
Yes.
Next up, we got Jason Voorhees. It has saved a lot of these guys for the end, I think. A ghost. I'm not specifying. I don't care. And a siren from Greek mythology. Jason Voorhees, the ghost of your choice, and the siren from Greek mythology. If it's a ghost of a sexy person who's into you, I mean... I should have said
if it's a ghost,
poltergeist.
I have to imagine that I'm lonely. I'm spending my time at my pottery wheel. I am making a pot
What a
with
good
clay.
movie. God, what a good horny movie. My God, what a good movie that is. Holy fuck.
then my deceased was a boyfriend or husband. I can't remember.
Very committed boyfriend, if I remember correctly. I think that marriage was like on the table. Patrick Swayze is so yeah, totally,
yeah,
absolutely.
So obviously I'm gonna make out with the Patrick Swayze ghost.
For the love of God, you've got to. So what about the ghost and the siren?
I'm gonna kill Jason Voorhees, which is technically impossible because he always comes back. But I'm gonna give it the old college try.
You said you're gonna.
You can't reason with Jason Voorhees.
No.
You can't let him in on the intricacies of your plan to go rob the bank or whatever. Jason Voorhees
cannot keep a straight
isn't gonna
line.
play by your. He will mess up your plan.
He can't keep it together pretty much ever, actually.
He overreacts all the time.
My
and
God.
The thing is, whenever it gets down to like we've got to run to get away, the police are here. Jason Voorhees canonically walks.
He doesn't run? He can't run?
Doesn't run. They never show
Really?
him running. He doesn't book it. He's just maybe walking at a brisk pace, but he's walking.
In all of those movies, he never ran.
Yeah, it's like a trope at this point.
And by Jove, they made a lot of movies. That's crazy. Okay.
So obviously, you do crimes with the siren. Because the siren is going to like
Hypnotism.
entrance and lure the guards away or whatever.
Yeah.
And then once the guards are lured away, you can break into the mansion.
And she'll eat
of
them.
The rich person.
She'll eat the guards. They wouldn't even be a problem after that.
Yeah. And then while you're at it, you can have her eat the rich person who owns the house. And
Why
then
not?
Free house.
Pretty much all you need is like earplugs to make sure she doesn't use it on you, and like her phone number so you can text to communicate. Like that's it. That's pretty much all you need for this to work out.
No. I'm not even going to worry about like if she's going to turn on me. She's not going to turn on me because I'm going to make it very enticing for her by explaining that there's quite a few landlords out there, and if she sticks with me, she'll never go hungry again.
She will eat her fill of landlords. Let it be known. No body, no crime, Hubby Schmoke says.
Exactly.
Okay, so killing Jason, crimes with a siren, kiss the shit out of Patrick Swayze ghost. Our penultimate round, the Grim Reaper. The skeleton, just like a sentient skeleton. Again, not picky. Imagine it's a sentient little skeleton.
So like a bad guy in a dungeon in D&D.
Exactly. That is exactly what I was thinking. Like spot on. Sentient, can fight, maybe owned a sword at one point. And a poltergeist. Which, isn't that kind of just like a violent ghost when it comes down to it?
Not necessarily violent. There have been recorded poltergeist case where the poltergeist just moved shit around, but could obviously very tangibly affect physical things out in the environment, which means there's a very good chance you could have some sexy times with a poltergeist if you were both into it and it was consensual and all that.
So it's like a ghost that can interact with the world physically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into that. Totally. Okay, I can see that.
I'm making out with the poltergeist.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting to third base.
Hell yeah. So, the Grim Reaper versus a D&D dungeon skeleton.
Skeleton's useless. You kill the skeleton.
Yeah, he's got to fall apart in 2
seconds. The Grim Reaper, who you've hooked up with to do crimes, because the Grim Reaper can look at any obstacle in your way as far as like the police or guards or what have you, and just go, you're dead now. And they just fall over dead.
Question.
Problem solved.
Question.
Again, what's your question?
Is the Grim Reaper the killer, or is the Grim Reaper the harvester after the death? Because I was always under the assumption that they were the sole harvester post-mortem. Honestly, that depends on the depiction. I've seen it both ways, come to think of it.
Yes.
So, whatever. I'll let your Grim Reaper kill people. Who cares?
And specifically, the Grim Reaper I'm thinking of is, I remember his name now. The Grim Reaper that I'm thinking of is the Grim Reaper as depicted by Robert Redford in like the 1950s Twilight Zone episode.
I'm gonna look it up.
So you have like a baby sexy Robert Redford going around reaping people.
Oh, he's so cute. He's so cute. He's just like a regular degular guy though. He doesn't even look like a Grim Reaper.
And again, since he looks like a regular degular guy, well, he looks like young Robert Redford. He's very attractive.
Yeah,
but
to be clear.
Since he looks like a normal person, perfect for doing crime.
Yeah, honestly, sure. I really wouldn't have thought... Hold on. Grim Reaper, skeleton, poltergeist. I would kill the skeleton, fuck the Grim Reaper, and do crime with the poltergeist. Because, come on. You can't even see it. There's no evidence. And it can interact with things physically. You can't see a fucking poltergeist. I don't think. I don't think you can see a poltergeist. Until the end of the movie, I think.
You definitely see the poltergeists at the end of the movie.
Okay, so just don't let them get that
They're
far.
pretty nasty looking.
Hold on, I gotta look it up. Poltergeist from Poltergeist.
Also, poltergeists do their thing because they want you to know they're there, which is like the worst thing for committing a crime.
Ah, that's a good point, actually. Surreptition is not really gonna be their thing.
You don't want somebody helping you with a crime that's all like setting off air horns and playing dubstep loudly and throwing the couch across the room.
Is Poltergeist is just really into playing loud-ass prog rock all the time. So for our final round...
Guys plugs in a CD of King Crimson, cranks it to 11.
Yeah, I think you actually are right. Having it explained a little further is very helpful. They would be pretty bad at crime, unfortunately. So for our final round, we got good old classic Mikey Myers, Leatherface. Ooh, we're getting horror classics. And like a D&D goblin. Michael Myers, Leatherface, D&D goblin.
Did it specify on your thing D&D goblin or just goblin?
I don't know. I said goblin. But in my brain...
Did it just say goblin?
It just says goblin. But in my brain, I am imagining a D&D goblin. I'm not picky on the specifics, though. Hubby Schmoke says crime with goblin. I don't know if they would be good at it, but I do think they'll be the most crime inclined. Are you Googling?
Okay. So, right off the bat, I'm going to give a chaste little smooch to Mike Myers.
Elaborate on that.
Mike Myers tends to go after, like, the sexually promiscuous whatever people first in his movies. If you bang somebody else and you're in a Mike Myers situation,
fucked.
He's going to come after you first.
Kind of incel behavior, in my opinion.
Very much so. So by giving him just a chaste little smooch,
you'll fix him?
I think it'll confuse him enough. He may try to off himself for being, you know, promiscuous.
That's an interesting stance. Okay. So the kiss is not for... This is our first kiss that isn't for like pleasure or enjoyment. It's a kiss based in self-defense.
Yes.
Okay, sure, why not?
Leatherface is a cannibal that skins people and makes like stuff out of their skin.
He's also an abuse victim, if it helps. Not to be an apologist.
It doesn't. There are plenty of abuse victims who don't go around eating people. So I'm going to say Leatherface, you kill Leatherface.
Yeah, fair enough.
And of course, you commit crime
with the wee little goblin?
With the rock band Goblin.
You are cheating.
70s.
You're cheating. I meant the monster, and you know it. That's why you asked if I just said goblin. Are you shitting my dick? Are you shitting my dick?
Goblin. You admitted you just said goblin. So I'm hooking up with the band from the 70s.
This
Goblin.
is Stevie's playground. You play by my rules. Don't fuck around on me.
Whose music has been used in such movies as the horror classic Suspiria.
Ooh, okay.
Dawn of the Dead.
Damn.
Let's see. Phenomena.
They're in some big ones.
Mad Puppets Laughs.
Okay.
I'm going through the discography. Anyway, a lot of horror movies. A lot of horror movies from the 70s they did the soundtrack for, which makes them thematically appropriate. And I would have them go and do like a sudden like flash mob sort of situation, but with a 1970s rock band that does a lot of electronic horror stuff, and have them do a performance, and everyone's going to be like,
distracting.
Oh, is that Goblin?
I think you're overestimating how many people know and would recognize Goblin on the spot.
Are they, is that the theme from Dawn of the Dead? That is awesome. Kind of gives a creepy atmosphere. I'm going to check this out.
Sorry.
Oh shit, are they doing a Dario Argento Suspiria reference?
Again, you are overstating how much.
I am wrapped.
You're overstating
I cannot tear my eyes and ears away from the majestic performance that I see before me. Oh shit, is my wallet gone?
You are overstating how much people care about street musicians and buskers. They would not recognize Goblin from Joe Schmo, and they're playing horror movie soundtracks. What are you fucking talking about?
This is not a busker situation. We are talking full band, laser light show, pyrotechnics going off, just the whole ride.
Okay, so somebody in the chat just redeemed viewer submitted poll, which means I have to make a poll in which they get to vote. So it's gonna be, should Micah evaluate based on Goblin the band or Goblin the creature? And if the chat says creature, you need to reevaluate your question. Or your answer to the question, rather. This poll is up for a single minute, gang. Go vote. Does Micah need to reevaluate this dog shit answer? Micah, you can go ahead and vote for band, because I know you're going to.
I didn't.
Did you vote for creature? You're so fucking funny. So far, creature sweep. 100% for creature so far. So, damn, half the people in the chat have already voted. One person voted for the band.
One person voted for the band. Okay, thank you. I'm glad that you appreciated my...
A single person comes to your defense. Ooh, I have to record my 1 second of the day, so I'm gonna put you guys, the Twitch chat, in it. That's so exciting. Aww. It's a little compilation of like 1 second from every single day, if you couldn't tell from the name. So there's no way that that band is gonna pull out in the last second. So Micah, based on a creature goblin, think a D&D monster, nasty little goblin. Michael Myers, Leatherface, nasty goblin. Does that change your answer? And are you still going to do crimes with the ineffectual goblin, the pawns and the cannon fodder of the D&D universe?
The thing about goblin is you never see them singular.
Goblin this dick. Sorry.
It's always goblins, plural.
That's true.
So what I would do is I would get a group of goblins.
Okay.
And I would take them to a faraway mountain retreat.
Okay. For training or?
For a training montage. And we're talking like a hidden, snowy, faraway like monastery in the mountain kind of situation.
Okay.
We're talking about the guys of High Hrothgar in Skyrim. Like very isolated, monastic hideaway. And I'm going to take the goblins.
We're train the shit out of the goblins.
I'm going to train the goblins on how to play keyboards, electric guitar,
oh
bass,
my god,
and drums. And then I'm going to get them to cover all of Goblin the band's music so that I can then, in this new and improved plan to rob the bank, have a cover band of Goblin as performed by goblins. No one's going to look away from that. Everyone's going to be like, holy shit, conceptually, this is amazing. What the fuck? Is my wallet gone again?
And the problem is, I think that would work better than if the actual band Goblin was there. Bitch, you thought of that bit and that's why you voted for the creature. You suck. Yes. That is so fucking funny. I think that would be more effective. Damn it. You always raise really, really good points in these. You frequently sway my original opinion in these, which I really appreciate, getting your different viewpoint. So that's been Stevie's Playground. I'm really happy that you were able to come play in the space with me. I really appreciate that about you.
You're welcome, Stevie.
Yeah. Were you about to say something?
No, I'm looking at a thing real fast on the different screen.
Well, I was about to say, I think we're about ready to wind down for the night. We have 2.5 hours of audio that Micah is unfortunately going to have to edit down for a regular podcast episode. Godspeed, brave little soldier. Do you want to tell the sweet people where they can find you, Micah?
The good people can find my music at mxmaxwell1.bandcamp.com. We also have a Patreon where for a mere $3 per month, less than the cost of a full-sized candy bar, that you would be handing out to trick-or-treaters possibly tonight.
Yeah.
So cheaper than dealing with the trick-or-treater that's blackmailing you and threatening to spread soap all over your windows.
Break your windows, graffiti,
or
etc.
they want something to give them a cavity. And you're like, sure, I'll make it to where you have to pay for a dental visit. Have some sugar. Anyway, cheaper than dealing with the blackmailers. You can subscribe to our Patreon, where we have bonus episodes, as many bonus episodes as we have free episodes available.
Which is badass.
And yeah, it's really fun over there. You can also leave comments, and I'm the one who controls the Patreon, so I will talk to you via that.
And we don't talk about the news on those episodes, so it tends to be loosey-goosey and chill. Very, very fun.
We also have a $10 patron tier.
We do.
Where you get access to all of the previous episodes, like I mentioned. But we will also read your name at the end of every episode. Our $10 patrons, part of the Cool Kids table, are Little Dog Looney, Thea of the Withered Rose, Venus, P. Wilbo, Althea Petrichor, Avery Fern, and Cassidy Johnson.
Thank you so much for being here, all of you. We really, really, really appreciate you. To the people in the Twitch chat, I did put a link to our podcast page on my website, and that has a link to everywhere where you can listen to the podcast, as well as our Patreon, and a little quiz if you want to take that to see which episode you should start on in our line of episodes. And there's also merch, by the way, if you want to get our regular logo, not the Halloween logo, unfortunately, on a sticker, mug, journal, or whatever the fuck Redbubble sells. I think that we're about good to go for the evening. So we're going to go on and sign off. Happy Halloween, guys. If you go out later, be safe. Love you so bad. That about wraps it up?
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty much everything. So nothing left to say, but to give you a spooky bye.
Bye.